were adopted to ensure that those meetings are held, both the committee meetings and the House sittings. On Tuesday, the 19th of May 2020 at 10 in the morning, we'll have our first virtual House sitting. It will be streamed live on our social media platform as well as on the website.
Proceedings of the virtual House sitting can be streamed live on all of the Legislature social media pages. To engage, visit www.gpl.gov.za.
Hashtag Get to Know GPL.
It's important to register to vote in the upcoming elections. Registering to vote is the best way to ensure that your voice is heard. If you do not vote, you do not use the chance that you were given to voice your opinion. In previous elections, the large majority of young people simply did not participate. We chose to participate by not participating, which is counterproductive. And the way that we break the cycle of mediocrity is by participating and voting. It is easy to say that I will not take part because I do not see any changes being made. But when you think about how many of us there are, if we all got together and if we all voiced our opinions, that would be a change like this country has never seen before. My name is David Kabwa. I am 21 years old.
At a time when the country is facing an unending surge in incidents of gender-based violence, a formidable force has risen, inviting boys and men to deep and honest conversations about responsible manhood. The Gauteng Legislature's Men's Forum recently embarked on a campaign excursion with 100 boys and fathers from across the province in a mentorship initiative aimed at ending the scourge of gender-based violence. The forum is made up of male staffers of the legislature who have taken it upon themselves to groom boys into responsible men through meaningful dialogue, mentorship, and positive role modeling. The excursion took place at Melder's Drift, where the youngsters spent time in conversation with influential male personalities, where they were challenged to become accountable men as well as treated to outdoor fun and adventure. The GPL Men's Forum stands against gender-based violence, and so should you. Brought to you by the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. Your view, our vision.
I think it's important to register because democracy is built on the idea that everybody will participate in the governance and the things that affect society at large. The most important things that have ever happened across the world in history have started with the young people. Maybe not necessarily to our generation, but we are the most forward-thinking, the most educated, this generation in South Africa as it's ever been before. And voting is about exercising that right and about making what has been fought for in the past work.
The Gauteng Provincial Legislature is committed to its constitutional mandate of oversight and public participation. As a result, the rules and the program were adopted to ensure that those meetings are held, both the committee meetings and the House sittings. On Tuesday, the 19th of May 2020 at 10 in the morning, we'll have our first virtual House sitting. It will be streamed live on our social media platform as well as on the website.
Proceedings of the virtual House sitting can be streamed live on all of the Legislature social media pages. To engage, visit www.gpl.gov.za.
#GetToKnowGPL.
It's important to register to vote in the upcoming elections. Registering to vote is the best way to ensure that your voice is heard. If you do not vote, you do not use the chance that you were given to voice your opinion. In previous elections, the large majority of young people simply did not participate. We chose to participate by not participating, which is counterproductive. And the way that we break the cycle of mediocrity is by participating and voting. It is easy to say that I will not take part because I do not see any changes being made. But when you think about how many of us there are, if we all got together and if we all voiced our opinions, that would be a change like this country has never seen before. My name is David Kabwa. I am 21 years old.
At a time when the country is facing an unending surge in incidents of gender-based violence, a formidable force has risen, inviting boys and men to deep and honest conversations about responsible manhood. The Gauteng Legislature's Men's Forum recently embarked on a campaign excursion with 100 boys and fathers from across the province in a mentorship initiative aimed at ending the scourge of gender-based violence. The forum is made up of male staffers of the legislature who have taken it upon themselves to groom boys into responsible men through meaningful dialogue, mentorship, and positive role modeling. The excursion took place at Melder's Drift, where the youngsters spent time in conversation with influential male personalities, where they were challenged to become accountable men as well as treated to outdoor fun and adventure. The GPL Men's Forum stands against gender-based violence, and so should you. Brought to you by the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. Your view, our vision.
I think it's important to register because democracy is built on the idea that everybody will participate in the governance and the things that affect society at large. The most important things that have ever happened across the world in history have started with the young people. Maybe not necessarily to our generation, but we are the most forward-thinking.
Yeah, ngithumelile.
Angithumela ngithi uthi singaqalisisele.
Ngisende mama manje. Zokani.
Ithi DN yini? Dinawo nkomo.
Ngoba participants angakanani. Mama dothi. And then come on.
Mbe Nontlantla Mazaleni, kindly switch off your camera just for a moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Asdino, you'll prompt me when we are supposed to start. It's Kiriboni Diale here.
Honorable Diale, yes, in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hello? Can you hear?
Hello, we are able to hear you. You can mute in the meantime.
Okay.
Honorable Khululi Wemchali, you can switch off your video for now. Switch off your video.
All right. Now let me try. We have a representative from DEFSA who will be appearing in the screen majority of the time. So for those who will not be presenting or asking a question, if we may request you switch off your camera so that at least it gives priority to the sign language interpreter. Thank you. May we please switch off our cameras when you are not presenting? Can we kindly switch off our cameras when we are not presenting or speaking? Honorable Diale, we may proceed. A reminder to all to please switch off our cameras while we are not presenting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dineo, and thanks to all honorable members present and our distinguished guests. My name is Gidiboni Diale. I'm going to set out few rules for engagement today. Please switch off your cameras because we are having a sign language interpreter who must be the only one on the screen. Also make sure that your mics are off, and when we want to speak, please raise your hands. And let me welcome all of you. We are a bit behind schedule. We are 5 minutes late. Can we now observe a moment of silence in prayer? For about 8 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Let me welcome our distinguished guests. I am still to get who has logged in. Dineo, please WhatsApp it so that I acknowledge people accordingly, and thank the Gauteng Provincial Legislature for this opportunity. And I hope that I have a radio voice that will not be boring you throughout the proceedings. I'm now going to hand over to Honorable Linton Mekwe, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature Speaker and the President of CPA Gauteng branch, to do our opening address. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Honorable Diale, our chairperson of the CWP branch in the Gauteng Legislature. I hope I'm allowed to switch on my video as I will be speaking. I have not seen the the sign language interpreter, but I'm sure as we proceed, we'll be able to see the interpreter. Let me take the honor to acknowledge Honorable Beatrice Elachi, who is the Chief Administrative Secretary in the Republic of Kenya, which is an equivalent to the South African Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Public Service and Gender in Kenya.
Thank you.
Acknowledge to members of the Executive Council of the Gauteng Provincial Government, the speakers of provincial legislatures in South Africa, deputy speakers of the provincial legislatures in South Africa, members of the National Assembly and of the National Council of Provinces in South Africa, members of the Multi-Party Women's Caucus, and members of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians in Gauteng, the Vista Basadi Awards and recipients, the staff of the provincial legislatures, government departments, including the gender focal point persons, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm told that we've been joined by some gentlemen who actually are gender sensitive. The International Women's Day, which is celebrated on the 8th of March of every year, is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating women's equality. This is an important day for the women across the globe to celebrate their achievements, raise awareness, and lobby for accelerated gender equality, and raise funds when necessary for female-focused challenges. The campaign theme for the International Day of Women today and for the year 2021 is, I quote, "Choose to challenge. A challenged world is an alert world." I quote. And challenge comes change. So let us all choose to challenge. This day on the 8th of March belongs to all groups collectively everywhere. No government, NGO, charity, corporation, academic institution, the Women's Network, Media Hub, solely responsible for International Women's Day. International Women's Day is not country, group, nor organization specific. Gloria Steinem, a world-renowned feminist, journalist, and activist, once explained, I quote, "The story of women's struggle for equality belongs to no single feminist, nor to any one organization, but to the collective efforts of all who care about human rights." And we're lucky also in South Africa because the month of March is the Human Rights Month in South Africa. Therefore, make International Women's Day your day and do what you can to truly make a positive difference for women. Whether hosting an event, running a campaign, launching an initiative, reporting on achievement, donating to a female-focused charity, or more, there are many ways groups and individuals can mark International Women's Day all over. The three central beliefs underpinning and guiding the purpose and provisions of International Women's Day will be: one, identifying, celebrating, and increasing the visibility of women's achievements, which can help forge equality. Secondly, it can strategically collaborate based on a foundation of shared purpose, trust, and appreciation, which can impact positively on change for women. Raising global awareness via meaningful narratives, resources, and activity can help combat gender bias and discrimination to accelerate gender parity. Within this context, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature has adopted annual programs that are community-oriented and biased to women and young girls. In the last few years, the legislature hosted multi-party women's programs, and through the GPL Multi-Party Women's Caucus led by the Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Chogo Makakula, we have on an annual basis launched the 16 Days of Activism for No Violence Against Women and Children, a global awareness campaign that takes place from the 25th of November to the 10th of December. This period includes Universal Children's Day and the World AIDS Day, because we have also noted that women are the most affected by all this pandemic. South Africa adopted the campaign in 1998 on intervention strategies towards creating a society of violence. The campaign continues to raise awareness among Gauteng citizens and South Africans at large about the negative impact of violence against women and children. The Gauteng Legislature has a consistent program on women empowerment and the recognition of women in all areas of development and achievement. Our Vita Basadi Awards program is key amongst others that the legislature hosts annually. This is one impactful event where we celebrate our women's heroines who give selflessly at their time and resources to help those around them. And I want to actually explain that these women are ordinary women. They are not in any government structure, be it councillors or in their legislatures or in parliament. These are ordinary women working on the ground. We really need to celebrate this day. There's no place for complacency. And according to the World Economic Forum, sadly, none of us are likely to see gender parity in our lifetime, nor are many of our children. But I also want to explain that during the apartheid era in South Africa, no one thought we will see freedom in our lifetime. Therefore, I say, let us not be complacent, but let us all work hard, because there's a lot of work to do, and we can all play our part so that we can see gender parity in our lifetime. We're also celebrating the Commonwealth Day, which is celebrated every second Monday of March every year. President of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, and Commonwealth Secretary General Honorable Patricia Scotland have announced a date for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, which was to be held in Kigali in June 2020, but was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting and associated events will be held in Kigali, and the new date that has been agreed with member countries will be the week of the 21st of June 2021, including the Commonwealth Women's Forum, which is to take place on the 22 to 23rd of June in 2021, but also held in Kigali, which is in Rwanda. Delegates of the Women's Forum will discuss solutions to address pressing challenges affecting women and girls across the Commonwealth and to ensure member countries have robust policies and programs to meet gender equality targets by 2030. And 2020 is just around the corner, honorable members. We hope that solutions from the two-day forum will inform Commonwealth leaders' discussions and decisions on ending gender inequality, ultimately involving women at the highest level of policymaking to address the challenges directly affecting them. And I hope that our men folk can also help us to deal with these particular issues, because as women alone will actually not be able to address these challenges. We're informed that the theme of the forum is delivering a common future, transforming for equitable access and inclusive growth. It is my sole belief that united as women in our province and in our country, as well as in the continent as a whole, we can build a better world free from violence, abuse, conflicts, and exploitation. Allow me, Program Director, to welcome all participants in this information sharing session, and I have all the trust that we'll be able to engage positively, and the session will be highly fruitful and very informative. I wish to thank you, but you're all welcome. Thank you very much, Honorable Diale. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Lengting Mekwe. Can we move swiftly to our next presentation or our next speaker by Me Beatrice K. Ilachi from the East Africa region?
Thank you very much. And once again, happy International Women's Day. To my speaker, who is my very good friend, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today as women, as we celebrate the International Women's Day. Honorable Leting Mekwe, the Speaker of Gauteng Legislature, I want to just thank you for that. Indeed, honorable ladies, all protocols observed. It gives me great pleasure to join you today as we celebrate the International Women's Day, as indeed as you celebrate in South Africa as sisters, and then more informally on an information sharing and empowerment virtual session. Indeed, I would say that we have been very good friends with Gauteng Legislature Assembly, and I think as we celebrate today and join hands in a time where we have gone through a pandemic that has seen so many things change. But I believe as women that indeed we were created strong. God gave us a different zeal in how we deal with issues, in how we deal with different challenges that come. And we are able to stand and ensure we protect our families. I think as we celebrate today, we just need to thank God that we know we have most of our sisters who have passed on due to the pandemic, but we also have very strong women who have gone through and have surpassed. And we are saying as we move on, how do we ensure that we go through post-COVID, and how do we ensure women will come out stronger economically, socially, and even politically? Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate in South Africa, we celebrate in Kenya, and we look at the different challenges that we have faced, especially in terms of family. I know we've had increased family breakages because of the pandemic. We have had increased poverty coming in because of the pandemic. And we as women, we have the solutions on how we shall move ahead. We are hoping that as we move on, governments will ensure there's inclusivity of women, to ensure the economic stimulus packages that are being put in the different countries are going to support our women. In Kenya, we've been trying to push, and we have now ensured, even in the ministry, that women are going to sit on the committee that is dealing with the economic stimulus to ensure the small SMEs that we have, women in trade, are able to come, women in informal sector, which was very hard during COVID time, women in hotels, that they are able to come back and see their businesses thrive. We have seen different programs coming up, and I'm hoping also in South Africa, we have such programs, or even if we don't have, we can learn lessons. The direct income support to women through the direct cash transfers that have been done by government, and employment benefits, tax breaks that we've had to ensure that women are able to participate in the economy of our country. We know that very well. Women also are the ones who have gone through unpaid employment. Women will walk around looking for jobs, informal jobs. During COVID time, these are jobs that we could not do because people, you remember, we were more enclosed to ourselves. We could not, because of social distancing and all that. And we are praying that as we move forward, that women in businesses will have grants that will stimulate their trades. We will have governments looking at us differently. Remember, women are the nurses. They are the majority, 80%. In most of the health centers that we have, the health workers we have are women. And they have gone through a life that I know they will remember. Most of them will write for us books of what they've gone through, what they have seen. So for me, as I join you, and as we celebrate International Women's Day and even the Commonwealth Day, the most important thing we need to ask ourselves is, how are we going to tap in the different achievements that different countries are doing. How are we going to work together, share information, and ensure that we empower each other? Today in Kenya, as we celebrate International Women's Day, we've just seen the launch of the 50 million Women Plus, which means 50 million women across Africa joining into a network to see how they build themselves economically. And I hope South Africa also will be part of that process, which will see women, not just in Kenya, not just in South Africa, but our women who are in economic trade are able to tap within Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, even as we move on, we have to understand that we have our young women, the youth, who have gone through a lot of discrimination, gender-based violence, which has been at a very high rate because of COVID also. And we need to ask ourselves, how do we tap in also people living with disability? How do we ensure we carry them on board? How do we ensure we have a grant that will see them also recover from COVID? And I think the most important thing we need to ask ourselves as African women, with the challenges we face politically, the challenges we face in accessing finances, that we have to come together as women of Africa, knowing very well now because of COVID, you've seen how many countries decided to go and enclose themselves, especially in the Western countries. That we must stand and now talk to our colleagues that we cannot build a country when 50% of its population is not part of it in developing, that we cannot come out of COVID without having 50% of our population inclusive in the agenda of post-COVID. That even as we move on with the African Union, that it is time we have a framework and a template, that template that will go and lobby and tell our governments that it is time and it is a season of women to stand for their countries to recover from post-COVID. That women are able to ensure the different challenges that we go through are challenges that we will see ourselves move into the next generation. That we need to carry on board our young people to ensure that they are able to understand that life has changed, that we are going to live in this life going forward. Women have to be empowered in terms of innovations of IT, technology, because we are moving into a more serious digital world than we thought before. And therefore, it is my prayer that we shall see women being empowered digitally to be able to also participate and perform their duties into this digital world. We also know that COVID has really changed our lives. When you look at how we used to do things, the different sessions that we used to have, today we are now going to do a homegrown CSW in our different countries. It is time for us to also change and see how do we bring in an intergenerational team that will work together, knowing very well our young people are very, very well enlightened and they are able to work and they are IT than as women who are now trying to gain also the knowledge, but we need that young intergenerational teamwork that will help women to be able to access the different platforms that we are creating for women to empower themselves. And therefore, this afternoon, it is my prayer as we join in the different legislative West Cape, North West and North Cape legislatures, that we get the information that we're going to share from this meeting, but be able to disseminate it to the grassroots and to see that women are back moving on with their lives, but more importantly, economically empowered, and they are able now to join the decision-making organs that we have in our countries. But once again, I just want to reiterate our friendship with Gauteng, is going to remain as we move forward. And I hope and I pray that I will one of these times in the year be able to travel and just meet you in Gauteng the same way you traveled to Kenya. And we always appreciate that friendship. And once again, I want to wish you a fantastic International Women's Day. Enjoy yourself, stand firm, love yourself, and let us just respect one another. But more importantly, remember that we must carry each other to the levels that we go. God bless you, and God bless South Africa. Thank you.
Hello? Thank you very much, maybe. Thank you very much, Beatrix. Can you please switch off your mic? I don't know whose mic is on. Please switch off your mic. This is an international platform, and we are also streaming it live on Facebook and YouTube. How I wish we were physical so that we can sing song and celebrate ourselves as women of Africa and our capabilities. And thank you very much, Me Beatrix and Melinti Mekwe. It's not yet Uhuru listening to your messages. We have not yet achieved the struggle. The struggle must continue. And I think those who are young and following in your footsteps will take it forward. And I know in Gauteng we have very vibrant younger women MPLs who are up to it. I know in South Africa generally, we've seen in 2019 an injection of energetic young people throughout the country coming from various political parties. And I think this platform for multi-party women's caucuses give us a platform as younger women and as younger MPLs to really get to learn from your wisdoms. And we thank you very much for that. I'm now going to open the platform for messages coming from different legislatures within South Africa. I'm going to start with the National Parliament. I was not properly briefed who's coming to make a presentation on behalf of the National Parliament. Can I get an indication? Dineo?
Ma'am, it appears the National Parliament is not ready yet. We may proceed to the next legislature.
Okay, thank you very much. Who is representing Gauteng? Maybe we must start from there. The Gauteng CDWP. I know the president of CPA in Gauteng spoken, but who's representing Gauteng? Okay, can they prepare themselves? Who is representing Northwest? Who is representing Western Cape? Who is representing Limpopo?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. You are representing Western Cape?
Good afternoon.
Yes, it's the afternoon in South Africa. She's muted.
Hello.
Yes, honorable member, we can hear you now.
Thank you very much. I need my slides, ma'am. I don't understand. Am I sharing, or are you putting my slides on that I sent to you?
Dineo?
I will share it. I will share it now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable member. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Beverly Schaefer. I'm the Deputy Speaker of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament. Very good morning to the Deputy Minister, to the members of provincial legislatures and of the National Assembly any members of the Commonwealth, ladies and gentlemen, it's lovely to be here. If I could just have the slides up on the screen, then I can begin my talk.
Dineo, please share.
Apologies, ma'am. It says the file is in use, so I'm not sure why it's not reflecting on. It's unable to upload on my side. It says the file is in use.
Can you give her control to do it herself?
Yeah,
I will do that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me just note messages from the church group. Member Ina Silas of Gauteng Provincial Legislature and Member Hassan, the youngest woman MPL in Gauteng Legislature. Thanks for the words of encouragement to the platform as established by the Gauteng CWP branch led by Honorable Toko Makagula. I hope other provinces are preparing themselves accordingly. After Western Cape, we'll take a presentation from Limpopo.
Ma'am, can you see my slides?
Yes, we can see them, ma'am. Can continue, okay. Honorable Member.
All right, just let me put it on. All right, thank you very much. So I've called this theme for today is about setting up an environment for progressive change. So what we did at the Western Cape Provincial Parliament is we looked at developing a non-gendered policy that would focus for particular members in the legislature in South Africa to ensure the rights for all parliamentary parents who wanted to fall pregnant for maternity, paternity, adoption, and surrogacy leave. There was nothing like this ever in South Africa, and we wanted to develop it. Now, the South African Constitution is often held as one of the most progressive and liberal constitutions of modern times. It is only one of the very few that explicitly prohibits discrimination on the basis of pregnancy, which is enshrined in our Bill of Rights. The Western Cape Provincial Parliament took a bold step to ensure the rights for parliamentarian parents for maternity, paternity, adoption, and surrogacy leave. In a country beset with inequality, we often call for more women to be represented in politics. This policy is an attempt to level the playing field and break down structural barriers to entering a life of public service. This policy is an active step to ensure public representatives are able to serve their province and look after their families. It should not be a zero-sum equation where parents, and particular women, are forced to choose between career or family. This policy makes provision for those parents, whatever their gender or family arrangements, in the spirit of our Constitution. So that we found that there was no provision in the standing rules of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament at the time when a particular member fell pregnant. So there was an instruction by the speaker that the Rules Committee be tasked with drafting a policy for members of the House relating to maternity, paternity, adoption, and surrogacy leave, and that the committee reports such a draft policy to the House for consideration. So again, now we ask the question, why should it be that women, or anyone else for that matter, have to choose between career and family? And also, it had to be important that no discrimination in the policy was there or experienced by anyone that identified themselves as being a parent. In the 6th Parliament, the Rules Committee on the 16th of August 2019 established a subcommittee to draft such a policy. The subcommittee met on numerous occasions between October and December of 2019. And during those meetings, the committee were briefed by the legal advisor on general principles concerning parental leave of absence contained in applicable South African law. The subcommittee reviewed the research relating to samples, policies and procedures applicable to parental leave. And it was noted that the members of the legislature and the parliament in South Africa are not governed by the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. However, the subcommittee resolved that the legislation would be used as a foundation for drafting this policy. Practices applicable in the national parliaments of South Africa, Kenya, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and Canada, as well as in South Africa provincial legislatures, were considered. It was noted that with the information available, no other legislature in South Africa had a parental leave policy in place. The various legislatures and parliaments had adopted either formal practice through the incorporation of leave of absence into their standing rules or through informal practice via conventions. Pregnancy, maternity, paternity, and adoption, as well as spousal leave, were the predominant types of leave provided for in other parliaments, while some parliaments made no specific provision for leave of absence for parents. And as stated, we wanted the policy to be gender neutral in order to incorporate modern families. We also wanted to differentiate between parental leave for primary caregivers and that of non-primary caregivers. And also that leave provided for in the Basic Conditions of Employment Act and the Labour Laws Amendment Act be considered, as I had indicated. The conclusion was as follows, that the subcommittee referred the draft policy to the Rules Committee for consideration. The Rules Committee adopted the report of the subcommittee, and the House adopted the report of the Rules Committee in the beginning of December 2019. Through this policy, an enabling environment was created for all kinds of families. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we can't assume that a family is traditional in the way it looks. Today, we have many types of families. And that the policy in itself was attractive for young parents coming into politics. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Western Cape. Now, can I request that, because I see there's a comment that as and when honorable members are making presentation and beaming them, we lose our sign language interpreter. So can we make sure that, I think the video was off. I just see them now. Can we make sure that they are always, their camera is always on? Can we move to the next province, Limpopo? Is Limpopo in the platform? Okay. Can I move to Northwest? Bokoni Bupirima?
Hey, yeah, I'm taking over.
Your mic is on, Me. We see that you have taken over. Switch off your mic so that when you get calls, we don't get disrupted. Thank you very much. Is Limpopo here? Northwest? Northern Cape? Dineo, what's happening? Free State? National Parliament? The Eastern Cape Province of the Legends.
Did they confirm?
They are on the program, Honorable Member.
Hey.
Is that a province? Is another legislature? Okay, I guess I will have to jump.
Program Director, this is the Eastern Cape.
Oh, thank you very much, Province of the Legends. Please switch on your
Sekhona.
camera so that we see you. Janelle, remove the presentation of Western Cape. Or Western Cape, switch off your, so that the Province of the Legends, the Eastern Cape, make a presentation.
Thank you, Program Director, Honorable Gidiboni Diale. Honorable Speaker, Sis Ndombi, who is also our President, CPA President in Gauteng Province, the international guests and the national representatives from the South African legislative sector, and all the Commonwealth members present here today. My counterpart, Honorable Toko Magagula, I'm Ntombo Vuyo, MPL Ntombo Vuyo Nkupani from the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature. I'm the chair of chairs in the legislature, as well as the chairperson of the CWP. On this year of Mama Charlotte Matleke, I bring you the warm and revolutionary greetings from the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature on this very important day of the 8th of March 2021, the city Kwenenonke, Happy International Women's Day. In our presentation, I won't take the entire presentation because you already have the copy. I'll just make the highlights on certain items because I was requested to give the progress on the programs implemented and the planned ones. So we have the CWP structure, and it was established according to the guidelines. We have the chairperson, that is Honorable Nkupani, the deputy chairperson, the treasurer, and an additional member. We know that and also observe that the policies aimed at increasing the numerical representation of women in leadership tend to emphasize women's practical needs as opposed to their strategic needs, or addressing women's daily responsibilities as opposed to changing society's unequal gender roles. The result is a focus on the symptoms and effects of gender inequality as opposed to tackling the underlying and unequal patriarchal power structures in South Africa or in South African society that result in poor societal outcomes for women. Whilst these initiatives produce important information in terms of the South African women's struggles, we know that the information has not yet reached the far-flung areas and the far-flung rural areas in our province. We know there were key result areas that were taken and agreed upon since 2015-2020 strategic plan. The one of development of structures, rules and guidelines for CWP, the increase of women representation and involvement, the empowerment of women, improved monitoring of implementation of international and regional instruments, the reduction of social, cultural, and religious practices that are harmful to women. So we had those 5 key result areas, and we have started to implement them. And so far, in the province, we have checked on the representation of women in the legislature that we are only 47% women. Out of 63 seats in the legislature, it's only 30 that are women. But fortunately, our speaker, the president of the sub-branch in the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, Honorable Helen August Sols, speaker on Mama. We also have the chair of chairs, that is Honorable Nkupani, is also Mama. So in the legislature executive, we're at 50% representation. Then coming to the executive council, the cabinet executive, we are currently having 5 women there out of 10. So we also have 50%. We are hoping to get an additional woman so that we'll be at back to 60%. Then we have 10 women who chair legislature committees. That is, now we're representing the 48% of all chairpersons. Even considering the administration, the representation of women in the administration, in the senior management level, we have 52% of women that are there. From the executive management and top management, I think we are on track. Going faster, I won't mention the other program that we have been engaged with, the analysis, and also the resolutions that were taken to elevate the fight for the protection of women and children against the double pandemics of COVID-19 and GBV and femicide. Those ones, I won't delve much to them because of the time constraints. Let us now take the upcoming Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians Program. We shall have a planned Young Women's Parliament. It will be a mock parliament that is aimed at providing an opportunity for young people from across the province to experience parliamentary democracy. That is to be in parliament practically, where they would discuss and represent the young people that they are coming from. This is aligned with the Youth Month. It will be in June, and the theme is grooming the next generation of women leaders. This program will again provide young women with an opportunity to present their views on all matters of interest to young women, such as gender, inequality, unemployment, technological innovations, challenges faced by women with disabilities, etc. The Young Women's Parliament shall compromise.
Sorry, Honorable Member. Apologies, Honorable Member. I think we are having a challenge with the sign language interpreter. People can't see her. Can we request you that you don't beam your presentations so that we are able to see the interpreter in the screen, in a full screen?
Okay, thank you. Let us remove the presentation.
It's possible, though, yes, those who have connected with phones, they're unlikely to see the interpreter. I can see the interpreter myself, but I see there are comments that the interpreter is not seen. Yes. Do we see? Can somebody say a yes, whether written or just shout a yes?
We can see, thank you.
Yes, we can see. Thank you very much.
Yes, we can see, Chair.
Thank you,
can
Honorable Chair.
Okay, I see. I think. Wait, Honorable Member.
Director.
I think the beneficiaries of sign language have responded. They can see now.
Good afternoon, the Program Director.
Afternoon, Madam. Who's speaking?
Hi. It's Lizanne. I'm from DFSA. What needs to happen with the interpreters for those who are watching, if possible, the one interpreter is Mpoteme and the other one is Mahlodi Topola. So if people can just pin the two videos to their screens, then they will be able to see the interpreter whilst watching the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Did we hear that? If the presentation is beamed, please pin on the name of Mpho and Mahlodi. Then you will see both the presentation and the sign language interpreter. And we will also make sure that all honorable members and participants in this platform get the presentation as requested. Can you continue, Mentombo?
Ntombovu yonkupane. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just to give a brief picture of the upcoming Young Women's Parliament, we can say it shall comprise of participants representing the district municipalities and unemployed graduates. The concerted effort shall be made in ensuring geographical balance across the province and representation of women with disabilities will be adhered to. Participants shall represent the 6 political parties that are there in the legislature currently. They will be debating on a chosen topic as a matter of public importance. Then formal parliamentary practices adapted will be also in place. Initially, the program was planned for March to commemorate the International Women's Day. But due to the high rate of COVID-19 infections and the delayed school opening program, the CWP Executive Committee agreed on rescheduling the program to June to align the program with the Youth Month. Of course, the participants will be the grade 11 and 12 young women, learners in the 6 district municipalities and metros, then the unemployed graduates, as I've mentioned. In conclusion, Honorable Chair, the 2019 CWP resolutions of the Africa Region Conference emphasized the need for an intensive campaign for advocacy for more meaningful equal representation. We shall embark upon that from this program. Going forward, we are looking at the large number of women that will appear in the 2021 local government elections. And through our oversight programs, we're also monitoring the government departments as well as provincial government at large, the structures that are there, political structures, as well as the administrative positions that are there to ensure the representation of women, the equal representation of women. We therefore support the theme, choose to challenge. For it is only when we challenge the status quo that we'll be able to give meaningful, will give meaning to the gender equality. We are saying as the Eastern Cape, let us ruffle the feathers now. Let us face the challenge head on and deal with it. Choose to challenge. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We will choose to challenge. I think in agreeing with other presenters that we have achieved, especially when it comes to ensuring that gender representation in terms of numbers is achieved. I think as a country in South Africa, we pride ourselves with that we've seen a good number of women in different senior management positions in the legislatures and in parliaments. And I think what needs to be challenged is to ensuring that the environment, it's women friendly and it's gender sensitive. We can't, when we talk about gender equality, only speak about the numbers, but also we must ensure that everything, policies, the environment itself. In South Africa now, we've pronounced another pandemic adding to the COVID-19 as a gender-based violence pandemic. I know gender-based violence is not only about violence against women and children, men also are abused, but we as this platform, we are advocating to ensure that there's gender equality in the country, in Africa, and in the world. And I think one question to be asked is, how do we use this platform of Commonwealth to ensure that we deal with the triple challenges faced by African women in general? The triple challenges, the challenge of poverty, the challenge of inequality and underdevelopment. So I think honorable members and participants in this platform, as you engage, will try to answer that question. How do we use the Commonwealth platform? Because this is a platform of the developed and the underdeveloped, and we should use it to advance the struggle of women in Africa, of women in the world, and especially because COVID-19 has exposed us to the level of poverty levels in Africa, in South Africa, and I think it was experienced also throughout the world that the marginalized, the less fortunate were hit hard by this pandemic. Honorable members, I don't know whether provinces are ready. I see Lerato camera is on. Are you representing a legislature? Just nod your head. No. Can you please switch it off? Please switch your beautiful face off, and happy Women's Day to you. Limpopo, are you ready? Northwest, are you ready? Refense Mangupe, are you a member of a legislature in Limpopo or in Northwest? Please switch off your handsome face. Which province is ready? Northern Cape? What is happening, Dineo? Do we have the members here?
Ma'am, we may proceed to the MEC's presentation.
Are we not having the discussions? Okay, thank you very much. I thought according to our program, Dineo, we are supposed to have discussions by all. I maybe perhaps just to take an opportunity that these other provinces have missed, I'm going to open for only 5 hands to make comments on the 2 presentations. Is there anyone who wants to make a comment? I'm going to restrict you to 2 minutes. There's no one. Can I move? Are you there, Women of Africa?
Yes.
Yes, you are there. Should I say somebody scream?
Happy Women's Month.
Happy. Thank you very much. I just wanted to check if you are there. Is there anyone who wants to make a comment?
Happy Makoskazi Malbongwe.
Igamala Makoskazi. Thank you very much, honorable member. Okay, I see there's no one who wants to make any comment. Can I now move to the presentations by members of the executive in Gauteng? I'm now going to call Ibogoto, our own sister, member Honorable Nkomo Ralehuku, a member of the Executive Council responsible for finance and e-gov in Gauteng. Honorable Nkomo Ralehuku, I call her Malibongwe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Madam Chair, I'm not sure because if my report, because it's supposed to be flighted. If my report, it's not going to disturb you in terms of the interpretation. That's my worry, but I have the report, I can read it through and then it can be circulated to the members. And good afternoon, Madam Chair, and we really appreciate this opportunity to have women of Commonwealth. I miss Commonwealth. Let me put that right first. I miss Commonwealth because I was one of the active members in the Commonwealth. So how I wish I can go back to the legislature so that I can have an opportunity to participate again after lockdown, because now it's lockdown. We're unable to run around the country and the provinces. But thank you, Chair, for organizing this through virtual. We really appreciate on our side. So, Madam Chair, do you want? We're not going to fly it, so I must just go through the presentation myself because of that problem.
Yeah, Sisi, please do. Just continue, and all participants and honorable members here will get the presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. My presentation has been done on the slides. Sorry, Chair, just a second. I'm trying to open it up. Hey, Nancy Malinda. Where's my presentation? Where's my presentation?
We were going to ask for imbongi. Isenzele isithakazelo sakho sisi.
Ndinguqenke ba ujola uphahla umphankomo. But it's fine. Where's my presentation?
While the team is helping you there.
Hey. I'm trying
Thank
to
you very much.
Yeah. Sorry, madam. Let me open this one.
It's up there, Honorable Nkomara.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's better. Madam, I'm going to present the information from the Gauteng Provincial Treasury. It will try and cut across some of the presentations from other departments.
Honorable MEC.
Yes.
Hold a sec. Let me check if the interpreters are seen. Do we see the interpreters?
Yeah. Madam, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to open it in another gadget so that I'm able to not to disturb the interpreters, but
But also because we can still see both.
Yes.
If participants can just click on the name of Mpo and Matlodi, I forgot their surnames.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
If you click on the name of Mpo and Matlodi, you'll see both the presentation as the MEC flight. Yes. And you'll also see the sign language people.
Can
please try it, Mawani. Rebecca. Please try clicking on Matlodi's name. And see if you can see both. Please give us feedback, Rebecca. Dr. Rigamela.
Yeah, kiddos, is it Matlodi Tupola?
Yeah. Are you able to see both the presentation and the interpreter?
No, only the presentation I can see.
So if you click on the name, if you click the pin on the name of Matlodi, you don't see anything?
No, only Matlodi Tupola shows on the screen if I click on that icon there. No.
So you can see both, you only see one. Okay. Can we request?
I'm just worried for those who need that sign language. For me, I'm fine.
Yeah, no, we wanted to get that feedback from you.
Let me open on my document.
Honorable MEC, please open
let me open my
presentation in
document
another
so that
gadget.
I don't disturb. I don't disturb you. I agree with you because it will not be fair.
Can I assist? It's Lunga here.
Yes, Lunga, please, I will appreciate that.
When you want to see the interpreters, you go to the name, next to the name where you see that cross, that mic. There are 3 dots there. When you click on one of the dots, it will show the pin. And when you click on the pin, you will see the interpreter. I've just tried it now, it works.
Okay. Sure.
As a year, let's not complicate. They will hear her as she present, and Janelle will send the presentation to all participants.
But Chair, it's going to be a challenge for me because I'm on my phone and I would really want my presentation to be flighted when I speak. So I'm just pleading with the honorable members to try and get that one right. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Dineo, can we do follow-ups with the representatives from the deaf community to check if they are able to see both the presentation and the interpreter? Let's correct that so that we don't have this confusion.
We'll do so.
Okay. I see they've not written anything because I think I'm dependent on their written response on the chat, but I see they seem to be comfortable. Maybe if we can ask, is this Mpo, to ask if they are fine with us having the presentation in both. They can see Mpo, but when we flight the presentation, do you see Mpo and the presentation at the same time?
Is the presentation also flighted? Only one.
They can't see. Dineo tried to flight. Let's see while member Ralehoku is preparing herself. Dineo try to put the presentation of member Ralehoku so that we check if both Mpo and the president put it in a slideshow. Sibui, please don't disturb the women's meeting. We are rocks. Okay. Put it in a slideshow. Where's Mpo? Do you guys see both?
Chair, we are changing now. Matlodi is taking over.
Okay. Matlodi, can we see both the presentation and Matlodi? I can no longer see.
Chair, can they spotlight the interpreter?
Second.
If they can spotlight the interpreter, then I think everybody will be able to see.
Okay. IT, please spotlight the interpreter. Okay. Then I can see everything. Okay. I guess everybody is fine now. I can see both the interpreter. Matlodi, just make a move so that I see. You look like you are paused. Okay, Matlodi, I can see Matlodi. I can see the presentation. Do we all see? We are okay. Thank you very much. Let's then move on. Honorable Ralehoku. Nkomo Ralehoku. Let me see. Though Matlodi is not as visible as she's supposed to be, I don't know whether it's my connectivity or is it a general problem to all of us? I see she can hear me, but I just see moves. I don't see the sign language.
Chair, I suggest let's allow the sign language to be on the screen. Maybe some of us will follow through the presentation as Honorable Ralehoku is presenting. Because if you fly it both, it does look like it becomes a problem. So let's suppress the one that of the presentation, then we only listen to the sign interpreter.
Okay. No, there's a problem. I think if you check the chat, I think somebody also is seeing it the way I see it on my side. Others can see both. I think it depends on connectivity. Can we now rule that we will have only the interpreter on the screen, and then the presentation will be circulated to all of us, and Honorable Ralehuko can now present. Or you could see both earlier. Okay. Let's continue. Honorable Ralehuko.
Much better now.
Yeah, let's not allow technology to derail us, honorable members and participants. Let's continue with the presentations and let's listen attentively. As member, anyway, she's going to be speaking to the presentation. She's not going to be reading word by word. Honorable Ralehuko, just take us through, and then we'll take notes where we can, and then we'll make sure that all is emailed. Dineo, I suggest that you just email all the presentation now so that honorable members and participants are able to go through the presentation as and when a presenter makes a presentation. Can we continue now? Mera Lehuko. Presentations are sent to all of you already. If you have not gotten it, please write on the chats. The team will keep on checking the chats for you and make sure that they send it to you. Just write your email addresses on the chats and they will then forward it to you. I see there's good feedback. You have already gotten it. Can we now continue? Member Ralehuko? MEC Mukherjee, are you ready yourself? Are you able to take so that Meral Huku prepares herself well and she'll come after you? Dr. Mukherjee, MEC of Health in Gauteng.
Yes, as I said, Chair, for me it's gonna be a little bit of a hassle if my presentation is not Friday. But I saw earlier, Mpho was like on the bottom and then the presentation was on top. So then I don't know what happened, but I think let me check if I can't change it to another gadget quickly.
Okay, please organize yourself. Jovijo, are you ready?
No, I'm organized, Chair.
I'm just saying in terms of, I know you're organized. Sorry if you interpreted. I'm just saying, let's see how we use time. Maybe Honorable Mazibuko is ready.
I can be able to do it, Chair. It's
fine. You can.
Let me.
Oh, okay. You can use two budgets. Are they ready? Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair.
We don't know if Tagazela Sakho will do it for you.
Ndingumamvundle, ndinguBhayi, ndinguKhesha Msuthu. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Let me pass my greetings to the Honorable Speaker of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, the Deputy Speaker, and the executive members of the multi-party women caucus in Gauteng, and to the international guests and guests from other provinces and Commonwealth guests, and to all people who are on call. And I would also like to wish the women on the platform, women of Gauteng, women of the international and national, a happy International Women's Day and Commonwealth Day, Chair. Maybe just to say that I used to be a member in 2018 of the Commonwealth. Thank you very much for the opportunity from the Speaker and the members of the Commonwealth for giving me this opportunity. My presentation will be outlined as follows. It will outline the purpose, the background, cross-cutting issues, legislation and mandate, campaigns and programs aimed at accelerating women empowerment, campaigns and programs on fighting gender-based violence, programs on addressing the girl child. Chair, on the purpose is to provide a report on the progress made on the empowerment of the women, youth, and people with disabilities, and plans for 2021-2022 in the Gauteng Department of Health. In the background, the department focused on mainstreaming the issues to ensure increased participation and inclusion of women.
Hello, ma'am.
I'm on the
Those
platform.
are the programs that on page 8 that we are doing, which are internal focus. It's gender mainstreaming, gender budgeting, and conversation with women in leadership. What we have done, we've managed on gender mainstreaming to support 14 females and 5 females supported on gender.
Where was she presenting? She's Nomantu. Unfortunately, you are finding us in another presentation. It means you were presenting somewhere where we all could not hear you. We have given member Mukheti an opportunity to present for health, and then you'll come after her. Unfortunately, we lost you for some reason. I don't know what. So yeah, please hold with your presentation so that we allow Dr. Mukheti to present because she has already started.
Can I
Dr.
proceed?
Mukheti? Yes, please proceed.
Okay. Honorable members will see on the background that the department's focus in terms of mainstreaming issues to ensure increased participation and inclusion of women, youth, and people with disabilities in the department's program, so that their needs move from the margin of the Center of Development, Planning, and Resource Allocation. You'll see in my presentation that will be covered. And then on the legislation and mandate, it also gives us on part B of my legislation, it comes at the end. It will indicate what legislations and mandate is governing the department in terms of taking care of issues of women and children. On the cross-cutting issues, Honorable Chair, is employment equity, learnership, bursaries, internships, training and development, preferential procurement. And on the other slide, it's very difficult because it's not flighted. On the employment equity, it indicates the percentage of employment in terms of employment equity. Our target was 50%, but we're sitting at 75%, 77.5% with a budget of over 10 million. And then with regard to percentage of senior management positions held by women, our target was supposed to be 50%, but to date we have achieved 44% with a total budget of over 73 million. And then the percentage of people with disabilities employed in the department, our target was 1.8, and we have achieved that. Our target is 2% with a budget of 7.5 million. And then with regard to recruitment of women at SMS and people with disabilities, Chair, I've already outlined that if they go through the presentation, they will be able to see where the 77%, the 44%, and the 2% of people with disability have been achieved. And then the next slide would be the representation of women in management positions as at the March 2020. We have divided it into male and female so that we can be able to show that currently in terms of Africans, colored, Indian, and white females, we are sitting at 50%, and we compare it with males of the same African, colored, and Indian, which are sitting at 63%, but we're working very hard, Chair, to make sure that we'll be able to achieve that. And then on the unemployed youth empowerment programs for 2019-20, in 2019-20, the total number of unemployed youth given work experience is 1,640, exceeding an annual target of 1,500. Chair, On a total number of 1,640 active youth participants comprised of 1,066 females and 574. We did that comparison, Chair, so that we can be able to show that women or females are the ones who are benefiting in our programs. And then when it comes to the people with disabilities on the internship and learnership programs, our target was 5%, which is when you translate it to numbers is 75. But we have achieved achieved more, because we have achieved 7.6%, which totals to 114 people with disabilities. So we are really doing well, Chair, when it comes to the targets that we have set for ourselves for people with disabilities and women. And then with regard to the training and development learnership, Chair, we have also a target of 600 females, and on the internship and on the learnerships, we have a target of 300. We also, in partnership with CETA, which are assisting us in terms of also giving funds to make sure that we capacitate our young people in terms of training and development. And then with regard to the training and development, Chair, we have a budget of 9 million. And then with regard to the women participating in bursaries, and mainly our beneficiaries are women, it's 574 women who have benefited at a budget of 11.2 million. And then, Chair, when it comes to other achievements, over 547 managers were trained in various leadership and management development programs, Chair. And with regard to the campaigns and programs aimed at accelerating women empowerment in training and development, there's a slide that is indicating our achievement there. And then with regard to the leadership and management, we have a total of 11,553 women and men that were employed in the department to attend various capacity building. And then the breakdown there, Chair, shows that women are the ones that have benefited more than men. Then when it comes to the preferential procurement and local content, the department spent over 2 billion rands on HDI companies for the period under review. Of this amount, 1.4 billion was spent on female entrepreneurs. Chair, that is another achievement as a department that we have achieved. And then we have a breakdown below. There's a slide that will indicate preferential procurement, where we highlight the breakdown in terms of HDI, women, youth, and people with disabilities. And okay, there's a message that says it looks like our members did not receive the presentation as yet. I'm going to ask Dineo to make sure that they circulate that presentation. When it comes to cooperatives, SMMEs, and women and enterprises support, Chair, we have in the previous financial year implemented the mandatory 100% local content and manufacturing of linen. As you know that as a department, we are using mainly linens that we procure from our own cooperatives. And then we also procured fresh fruits and fresh and processed vegetables, including fresh meat. And Chair, I'm making a commitment that we will still be continuing to procure from our cooperatives and SMMEs. On the achievements, Chair, Dineo, can you please send the presentation, because now it looks like people who are on the platform cannot be able to follow what I'm trying to say. And with regard to the campaign supporting maternal and neonatal health services, Chair, we have managed to to do SONA to 16,159 pregnant women. And with regard to child health, a total of 115 professional nurses were trained on the expanded program of immunization, as we know that we need to reduce infant and child mortality and morbidity. And when it comes to the reduction of maternal and mortality, we have also achieved Chair, our acute malnutrition in patient rate under 5 years was 1.7% in the 2014-2015 and 1.5% in the 2019-20 financial year. And children under 5 years on malnutrition, we've also achieved that. It was 9.5% in 2014-2015, and in 2019-20 it is 5.9. When you come to nutrition, Chair, we have a slide there that outlines or highlight the campaign and program supporting women and child health. It is clearly outlined there, Chair. And then when you go to the campaign supporting women health and programs aimed at accelerating women empowerment, the limited obstetric, they have already indicated that we have done 16,159 pregnant women have received the gestational aging ultrasound, because in most cases our facilities, when you go to primary healthcare facilities, did not have the ultrasound machines, but we did achieve that. And we have also achieved, when it comes to the breast cancer and on HIV treatment for both mother and children, we have also achieved there, Chair. You will see if they go through the slides, we have achieved more than 100%. And then when it comes to access of treatment for both mother and child, we have also achieved more than 100%, because it's 118% achieved. And when you go to the slides of integrated school health programs, because this is very important program, Chair, for our children that are going to schools where they are being screened for different diseases, especially those that are in lower grades, like your grade 8 learners. So if they go through the slide, they will be able to see that. And then when we come to campaigns supporting access to health programs for young women, especially on the prevention of teenage pregnancy, it is also outlined there, and our achievements as well will be outlined in that slide. And then on the reproductive and women health, Chair, I must say we had been having a challenge where there was a shortage of contraceptives, but there was an improvise that was done to use implants, especially on young women, which is implanted in a woman, and it will prevent pregnancy for 3 years. Chair, we have achieved that. And then there's another slide. Chair, I'm not sure if Chair, I'm not too sure if should I proceed.
Yes, we had missed you, but continue, Dr. Mkheti.
Okay, when it comes to the increased number of people with disability who have access to rehabilitation services, we have managed to have a budget there that will focus on the increased number of people with hearing disability, increased number of mobility of people with disability. Chair, we have a budget of over 40 million that will be able to make sure that all those targets that we have set for ourselves, which is 75%, 2,400 and 2,500 are achieved. On the empowering of the girl child, Chair, last year, the total number of young men and women from disadvantaged communities were granted bursaries. A total number of 125 females and 96 males were granted bursaries. As you can see, the girl child was prioritized, and they managed to get a bigger number than our male counterparts. We're not saying a boy child cannot benefit, but now they are also benefiting, but we are prioritizing the female girl child. And then the budget that was provided was 63 million. So it is an achievement on our side, Chair. And then I'm just going to skip other slides. And then there was also a program on addressing the girl child. I think it was last year in Nazareth. Those of us who were following it up, we managed to see that expo that was done in Nazareth. In conclusion, Chair, the department has been able to provide support to women, the youth, and people with disabilities through various interventions ranging from health, economic empowerment, training, and financial support through our multi-facet bursary schemes and medical and non-medical internships. And Chair, to say for all those that were doing nursing and post their completion of community services, we have managed to absorb all of them, which the number was, I think, 983, but there's only 41 that were given contracts. But I must say, last week, we finalized a creation of posts, and we did prioritize those women that completed their courses. Thank you very much, even though it was very difficult to read it on my phone, but I tried. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mokgethi. You did it very well, and Raleboga mme. MEC Ralohoko.
Madam Chair.
Are you here?
I'm here, Madam Chair.
Okay, please.
I will start now with the Treasury, Madam Chair. I'm switching off from ICT. The purpose, Madam, of the program of the.
MEC Ralohoko.
Yes, ma'am.
We have not heard you when you were presenting, so you are starting afresh. I think you were presenting somewhere else, but
I'm going to the other department, Madam Chair. I'm starting with Treasury so that if my time is finished, ICT here, are you fine with that? Can they?
No, we are going to give you time to present both.
Okay.
All right,
I will start
continue.
with the Treasury, Madam Chair. It just talks to the page 2, speaks to the purpose, introduction, external programs that are directed to citizens of Gauteng, and internal programs directed to staff of the department, and the conclusion. Page 3, it speaks to the purpose of the meeting is to provide departmental achievements and progress, focusing specifically on programs which benefited women. The second bullet is to provide insight on how the department envisage contributing to women's lives. Page 4 is the introduction, Madam, which is the Gauteng Provincial Treasury. It implements various empowerment programs that are directed to women. On the external ones is the external bursary, internship and learnership, procurement from women-owned companies, and supplier development. The internal ones are employment of women at various levels, training and development, internal bursaries too. Then the next slide speaks to the external programs that are directed at citizens. And it's on page 6, Madam, where you speak about those bursaries, the number of the targeted youth that are studying towards scarce and critical skills, which is an internal audit and financial accounting. And a total of 8 out of 10 recipients are women, which makes it 80% of the population. On internships, we offer graduates an opportunity, and especially those who require workplace exposure and experience, and are placed in the core units of the department. Now we have 24 out of 45 interns that are women, which translates to 53%, and the process of appointing new interns is underway. We work with the under-work integration on learnerships. The program is aimed at offering workplace learning to TVET learners who require the experience in order to graduate and receive certificates. So we have 5 out of 8 of those women, and it represents 62% of the population that was of no new women intake for 2020 and 2021. Under SAIPA trainee accountant program, it's a 3-year program and aimed at getting graduates certified as accountant by SAIPA, and the process of appointing 20 new SAIPA learners is underway. Interviews have been conducted already. Then the next page, which is page 7, was speaking about the regional location of external programs under HR development. And you can see there, madam, we are highlighting the corridors there, the numbers of beneficiaries. The central corridor is the one that has benefited more, and followed by the west and Val, east and north. We still have very few. And we are not happy about that graph too, including myself. And then on page 8, we are speaking about the procurement spend on women companies. Under 2020 financial year, the amount that we have spent is that 113,190, and on female spend it's 18 million, and the percentage is 16%. 2020-21 it's 59078,585, and which is on female spend it's 15 million, and the percentage is 26%. So the total spend on women is 82 million, which is 15%. But the services that women have been doing, that has procured those services, it's consulting, advertising of vacancies, catering, travel management, labor savings devices, forensic services, senior management, competency assessment, auditing services, newspapers, and wellness activities. So top 3 commodities procured from women-owned companies in 2021. That's the percentage that is in those slides that you can see. Under consultant, which is the total spend for women, it's 2.262, which is 89% of the female, from the female spend. Consumables, it's 122,000, which is 5%. Advertising, it's 100,000, which is 4%. Then under supplier development programs, we have the supplier development business opportunities training, which is aimed at increasing access to procurement opportunities. It empowers suppliers to accurately complete a request for proposal and assist them in running a business. And a total of 44 supplier development workshops were conducted in 2019-20 financial year, and a total of 2,881 suppliers attended the workshops, and out of that, 1.390, it's 48% of those suppliers were women. Then on page 10, Madam Chair, is the regional location of supplier development programs. As per 2019-20 stats, 68% of Gauteng women are from Central Corridor, and the remaining corridors, which is the West, South, North, and East, make up attendance of 31, and 1% are from outside Gauteng province. That's the graph that you will see there, talking to those percentages that I've indicated. On page 11, it's a post-COVID-19 and 2020-2021 financial year planned action. As Gauteng Provincial Treasury, we remain committed in empowering women through the implementation of both internal and external online programs. No training was conducted in the quarter 1 to quarter 3 of 2020-21 due to COVID-19 pandemic, but planned training will commence on the 4th quarter of 2020-21, and will have to follow the regulations. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, again, further supplier development training in quarter 4 of the financial year, which is 2020-21, will be provided via online, and an advertisement to this effect has been concluded for the training to commence on the 10th of March 2021. And the Gauteng Provincial Government Treasury has also participated again in the event on the 22nd of March 2020-21 in 2020-21 in Kempton Park Civic Center about educating women in business, and about 30 business women attended the event. Programs in 2021-22 of post-COVID-19 will still be aimed at women, specifically youth and people with disability, with online sessions or on classroom style, which is supplier development programs specifically in identified commodity training such as construction, ICT, tourism, and hospitality. On page 12, we're talking about internal programs that are directed at the staff of the department. Page 13, those are the programs, employment of women at various levels. Under senior management, we have 49%, which is 35/71. Below its senior management, it's 60.98, which is 441 out of 674 staff. And then youth, it's 28.59, which is 213 out of 745. PWD, it's 2.28%, which is 17 out of 745. Training and development, we have training that is targeting employees of the GPT to better their skills and competencies. And in 2019-20, a total of 229 females trained out of 398 employees trained, which represent 58% of the overall total amount. And 2020-21 training programs were stopped in the main. The department focused on interventions that empower employees and managers on COVID-19 protocols and awareness. Internal bursaries, the bursaries are offered to GPT employees to improve their academic qualifications. A total of 238 out of 398 bursary recipients are women, and it represents 60% of that population. Bursary allocations for 2021-2022 are being finalized through internal processes, and these statistics will be available in Q4 after formal approval by the bursary recipient. In conclusion, Madam Chair, GPT remains committed to empowering women, young women in particular, and women with people with disability through the implementation of both internal and external programs. We are more focused, our focus will be on implementing on online trainings to mitigate against the COVID-19 pandemic, mentoring and even distribution across corridors, and increasing efforts towards targeted groups will be done by the department. And we've already agreed in the EMT that they must finalize that process. Thank you, Madam Chair. On the Treasury side, that's the presentation. Can I quickly go to the next one on e-government, which I've already started, and come back to you where I've left off. No, not this one, ICT skills. Sorry, Chair, let me quickly go back to that. I'm trying to check the provincial.
MEC, the ICT presentation you were presenting, we all did not hear you. I think you were logged in, so you must start from the beginning.
Okay, Madam. Let me go quickly through that presentation on ICT then. Okay. Yeah. On eGov, Madam Chair, I will leave the part that speaks about the. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, MEC.
Okay, thank you. On eGov, I will leave the part that speaks about the, what do you call this, the quotations that I've just indicated about from Hillary Clinton and others that are known in Amy Tenney, but in the document, the colleagues will find that. But again, we have the executive summary that was talking to the experiences that we have on how we've utilized technology to empower women, the struggle of women, which is remain a reality, and how as a government department, we continue to be confronted with triple oppression of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. And again, we talked about the COVID-19 pandemic that has resulted in an increase in job losses and loss of income, and women as breadwinners and primary caregivers bear the brunt of that pandemic on economically, emotionally, and physically. We highlight again the issue of modernized age of the 4IR and how we need to embrace technology in exploring opportunities and solutions that are offered by technology to address the current challenges that are faced by women. Then part of the executive summary again, Madam Chair, we're highlighting how ICT is a powerful instrument that is advancing economic and social development that can be a powerful catalyst for political and social and economic empowerment of women and the promotion of gender equality. We're highlighting again how the Gauteng provincial government has embraced ICT and are continuing to modernize the public service, Chair, as we offer a variety of services that are online now. And they were indicating how it helps to increase government services and offers convenience to our citizens, including women. And for women, we're highlighting that, Chair, more effectively access government services and need to be operated. And we're just indicating during COVID-19 the disadvantage that we've experienced. But again, we've realized that if we make sure that the fourth industrial revolution is there, ICT skills development and reskilling and skilling of women must be a priority after this COVID-19. So we have agreed again, Chair, that working with our partners as the Department of E-Government, we must identify training opportunities, which we've already done it now for our women in the province, and we have partnered with Microsoft and other key stakeholders. We're building now a center called Center of Excellence at 75 Fox Street, that we are going to ensure that we train people on ICT skills, but there are programs that are offered on ICT that are there to develop women, and young women and SMMEs are going to be equipped with the necessary credentials that will help them to reduce unemployment and give them opportunities on entrepreneurship within government and private sector. So even the people that will be employed, Chair, they were going to start with 100 young people, and out of those 100, half of it, which is 50%, is young people, and those young people are women that are going to be employed in the Center of Excellence as we speak. So the department again has launched the hashtag Digital Sisters. It's a program on ICT technology sessions that we're training them. We're intending to bring GPG women in ICT and want them to share experiences with these hashtag Digital Sisters that we've started, and their experience and insight from women leaders on the opportunities that are there. Then, Madam Chair, we have support programs that we are indicating. Part of those is the empowerment of women and bursaries that are awarded on women and taking a girl child to work. Those programs are being done. They were done, in fact, already in 2020, the one on GBV, and we did it virtual, and we launched 16 days of activism. We had to follow regulations of COVID-19, but link other regions on virtual. So it was more often not only internal, it was an external program, including the one of taking a girl child to work and health and wellness event. We did it into six provincial gender missionary programs that we've done around the province. And we have a support program on equity, Madam Chair, and underemployment. We have 50% that we've targeted already as eGov. Female senior management were at 48, and female middle management were at 42. And on the gender mainstreaming, we have that program on gender mainstreaming training, and we've trained 14 females. And on gender budgeting workshop, we've trained 5 females that are supported there on those gender budgeting programs. And we believe that it's not enough, because we want to encourage some of them to do those programs. And again, on conversation with women in leadership, we had those sessions, and we had 13 females that were supported again under that program. And we have support programs on the diversity management, sign languages, disability management in the workplace. On that one, on disability management in the workplace, we've supported 21 females. And on the one on sign language, we've supported 10 females. On the one on diversity management, we've supported 10 females. And under support programs on governance, as the department, we have approved supportive policy prevention at the discrimination in the workplace programs. and we promote the rights of women, and we have another program on disability rights policy, and we're training women on that, employment equity policy, gender equity policy, and sexual harassment policy. So we have sessions, Madam Chair, in those programs that I've just highlighted that are related to the programs that the department is have. And we have 89 bursaries that we have awarded to our own young women and those women at the middle age who are able to take up that opportunity on the programs on the programs where they can empower themselves. So I will end there, Madam Chair, on the ICT side, although there are other programs that the team have not added here in terms of the numbers, which I know because I'm part of that we've been doing in the whole province on the training of young people working with Huawei. So we have those opportunities that we've been doing, and we have done it in the 5 corridors. As we speak now, we've trained 500 young people, but out of those 500 young people, 50% in every program, in every corridor, we say 50% must be women, and we have adhered to that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Ralugu?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Are you done?
Yes, I've said thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Oh, I got distracted. Sorry about that. Honorable Mazibuko, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Members and participants will ask questions after the third presentation. Honorable Mazibuko, you can come in.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and greetings to all the Imbokodo. Today being International Women's Day, we salute all of you women. They say if you rock the, if you, in my English, but the women makes the world go round, and if you rock the cradle, then you are better. Anyway, on our background, Chair, is that the South African Constitution clearly indicates that we need to protect women's rights, and Chapter 2 on the Equality Clause provides the legal framework within which gender equality is protected and forbids discrimination against anyone on the grounds of race, gender, sex, pregnancy, marital status, sexual orientation, ethnic and social origin. Gender equality and equal access and distribution of resources, opportunities, economic participation and decision-making is a constant elusive dream to many women in South Africa due to cultural patriarchy entrenched by past laws, religious beliefs, and masculinity that forbids women access to means of production, quality of education, health, and self-determination. The 2020 Women's Parliament, under the theme Generation Equality, Advancing Our Collective Effort to End Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, comes at the backdrop of the implementation of a year-long program of action to respond to the scourge of violence against women and children and femicide. 26 years since the inception and the adoption of the 1994 Women's Charter for Effective Equality, there are still glaring gaps when we look at overall achievements garnered towards realizing gender equality in South Africa, in particular here in Gauteng. Gauteng, identified as a key pillar of Gauteng Women Empowerment Charter, adopted in 2019, and also the Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Gauteng Response Plan was also adopted in March of 2020 as a holistic approach to address equality for women, children, LGBTQIS, and disabled people. Key highlights for 2020, Honorable Chair, I did say all protocols observed, my apology. We recognize all of you. We started by reviewing of GBV court cases and also offering psychosocial support to victims of gender-based violence, especially we're doing this through Ikhaile Temba. Empowerment of about 600 women as GPV brigades for them to do outreach work in our communities. Deployment of 103 floor managers at police stations to assist when people arrive at the police station, especially women. We don't want them to suffer secondary victimization. So as a result, we've started deploying floor managers to assist. When a person walks through the door of the police station, they are asked and be escorted to the We also established the Provincial GPVF coordinating unit to coordinate GPV work in the entire province. And we started reviving the Green Doors as an empowerment tool for gender-based violence and domestic violence victims. Youth Desk was also mobilized to fight social crime, especially at schools. We also donated 10 vehicles for the SAPS victim empowerment centers from the identified hotspots. You remember in Gauteng, we had about 11 police stations that were hotspots of gender-based violence. Supporting of CSO programs that support women empowerment or fighting against gender-based violence, and also consistently we're assisting in the picketing at magistrate court and supporting the victims. On safety promotion, Honorable Chair, we had a number of holistic psychosocial services that were rendered to gender-based violence victims, and we had a limited number, but we're able to achieve. So our target was 1,300, but we're able to assist 2,314. And on number of GPV closed dockets, our target was 1,500, but we're able to analyze 1,652 dockets. On family justice support services that was rendered to GPV victims, 12 reports on family justice support services were rendered to GPV victims, and quarterly we're able to have 4 of them being achieved. On programs for women in 2020, we had corridor-based consultative forums towards adoption of the Gauteng Women's Charter, and women mentorship programs across all the corridors targeting young women. In August of 2020, we also launched the GPV brigades to do community outreach programs across the townships, also educating women about gender-based violence and femicide and empowering them to take charge against their abusers. We're also visiting the victims at their homes and also offering psychosocial support and empowerment to them. On the overall empowering projects that we have as the department, we have land invasion. We've got also patrollers, Madam Chair, and majority of patrollers are women that we see now coming up front. We are now getting lesser and lesser males that are participating as patrollers. I don't know what is happening to men, but we'll take it to it's just that women now are showing boldness, and they are the ones that are by they are there to ensure that our communities are safe. On land invasion patroller deployment, we had participants 1,222, out of them 688 were women. Festive season patroller deployment, where you see people during festive season assisting because we know that people are carrying a lot of money. We had a total of participants of 1,193, 749 of them were women. On community safety kiosks, we do have kiosks that we have rolled out in the province. 155 of them are patrollers, but as women, we have 83 of them. On Green Door ambassadors, we've got total participants of 25. 23, all of them are women. They are the ones that are heading these Green Doors. Floor managers that we've deployed to police station, total number of our participants is 99. We have 83 women who are floor managers. The Siabangena shelter patrollers, 280 are the number of participants, and we have 158 women that are the ones that are manning the shelters. On gender-based violence brigades, we have a total number of 607, and all 607 are women. Schools patrollers, like you know that at schools, we do have patrollers that are also deployed. It's a total of, out of a total of 5,100, yes, sorry, Chair, 3,060 of them are women who are patrollers that are making sure that our schools are actually safe. And we also do have women traffic officers, as you are aware, and as part and parcel of the programs that we always have, they participate and also embark on door-to-door campaigns together with us. On programs for the youth in the 2020, we did outreach program for youth to join community safety structures, and most of them were urged to assist us in forming those youth desks, and also they helped on school safety programs. More than 300 of young people actually enrolled. We had programs like Reclaiming the Night throughout the corridors. Unfortunately, manje COVID manje was phazamisa sahluleka ukumasha ngama miniskirt wethu nangama tutu wethu at night, where we were able to reclaim the night. So unfortunately, those programs were actually disturbed, but we were able to start them. But after COVID lockdown, we could not do that. We also focus on a program for the protection of sex workers, and we're also training young people on social crime prevention, on good behavior, and also on computer skills. Programs for the disabled people, we had a program on the role of knowledge management in promoting diversity and inclusion in the public sector, and we're joined by Dr. Dibuleng Muhlakwane, a woman from Gauteng Provincial Legislature, who unpacked the role of knowledge management in promoting diversity and inclusion in the public sector. On engagement with Blind SA, we had Mr. Jane, the Chief Executive Officer of Blind SA, who initiated the session by providing a historic background of what is now Blind SA. We had engagement also with DEFSA, where the Resource Center coordinated an engagement with ZEFSA, and DEFSA indicated that the organization exists to promote the interest of the deaf and hard of hearing effectively on a national level in South Africa with the provincial offices across. And we do this, Chair, because we believe that majority of our people who are vulnerable are your people with disabilities. On the department's expenditure for 2019-2020, as you know, because of lockdown, we could not. Majority of projects that are given to women are based on catering, Chair, I'll be honest. And because there was a hard lockdown, there was lesser of those activities. So our department, out of a budget expenditure of 56.3 million, 10.2, which is almost 18%, went towards women, 7.3 towards youth, and just 0.3 million, 1% to people with disabilities. The total combination of almost 32% actually was able to empower women, people with disabilities, and young people. We also had, we supported other civil society organizations like the Red Card Pledge campaign organized by ARDN. We also assisted in a dialogue on GBV by Noma from Tosu Banginga, where they were involving men towards action against GBV around Val. Sisters Keepers, who also were part and parcel of their programs as they were participating at Rodiport Court. You'll recall they were the most active when it comes to the case Yakatsukufato, and we must say that in fact the progress that is being done, including the boyfriend, has been arrested and he was denied a bail just last week. Plans for 2021 and 2022 for women and people with disabilities is that as the department, we intend to employ women at SMT level, which is senior management level, to target 55%. Currently, we're standing at 55%, and women that are employed in the department currently are at 636, which is almost 48%. Whilst the whole department has hired 1,312 people. Empowerment of business, we intend to increase it to 25%. On youth business empowerment, we intend to increase it to 15%. Employment of females, young people, we also intend to increase it to 25%. People with disabilities also, we intend to increase it to 2% as is regulated by the legislation. Activities that are planned for 2021-2022, we intend to increase more of our green doors. Currently, we have 13 green doors, so we intend to create about 25 of them in Gauteng, increase the support for CSO empowering of women and youth, empowerment training, empowerment skills transfer training for women who are GBV victims, and programs for the elderly, especially your entrepreneurship programs for youth, social skills, entrepreneurship and internship. And then out of the GBVF community outreach program, the brigades to also be expanded to at least have 2 per ward. Currently we have 1 per ward, and sometimes it is risky for them because they get into some of the households and you never know what will happen. So currently we're encouraging them with Bahamenga 2. So obviously Kuba was Ward 27, was 28, Bahambisana together. So we intend to have 2 per ward so that then both of them, they're able to be able to tackle that. We also will continue supporting the victims at magistrate courts and continuously assisting with picketing, also ensuring that we support victims even at police stations. As you know, we've got victim empowerment centers, and the minister had given instruction that they must be manned by women police officers. But currently, some of these police stations, they are still struggling. We see NGOs that are funded by Department of Social Development being the ones that are actually manning some of these victim empowerment centers. Support of people with disabilities to access jobs, and also, support of people with disabilities to access jobs and business opportunities in the department. In conclusion, Madam Chair, this year being the year of Charlotte Maxeke, the 150 years anniversary, I wish to quote just one thing from her. She said, "Deal with it. You can't conquer what you didn't confront." Oh, my apologies. Let me open quote. Charlotte Maxeke said, "Deal with it. You can't conquer what you didn't confront." Close quote. Let me thank you very much, Madam Chair, for offering us the opportunity to be able to present to all the people here today who are present as part of International Women's Day. Thank you, Siabo.
Thank you, Siabonga, MEC, and thank you very much to all of you for your profound presentations. I am now going to move to the next presentation. Janelle, are the next presenters ready? Like MECs were ready? Maybe as part of, because it looks like we are behind schedule. Are we? Yeah, we are.
Yes,
I'm going to allow, yeah. I'm going to allow hands for clarity seeking questions or comments on the presentation by the 3 MECs. Honorable Speaker.
If I may, Honorable Diale, if kindly people could switch off their cameras.
Oh yeah, member Dikhamela, your camera is on and you are driving around. We can see you. Please switch it off. Honorable Lenting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair of the session, but also thank you very much for steering this ship that is not easy to steer as we're having ICT challenges. Let me take the honor of actually thanking all our 3 MECs for their presentations. You know, for me, this is oversight at its best, because some of us don't sit in all committees. And when you hear these presentations, we are able to connect with what is happening on the ground. And if it was not for our honorable MECs, we wouldn't have seen a change in the lives of our people. For example, Honorable Mazibuko made mention of hotspot areas in terms of gender-based violence, but also in terms of Honorable Mukheti on the pandemic itself, COVID-19. I happen to work in a constituency that is topping around Johannesburg. We are number one in terms of the number of COVID-19 infections. We're also number 13 in terms of the number of gender-based violence. And you would have known, Honorable Chair, that in the past week, one of the areas that the MEC visited, especially the case of Tsokofatso Pule, we made a breakthrough and want to thank Community Safety for the good work that they did, the intervention that they did, including all other stakeholders. But because we had a number of gender-based violence cases again in this particular constituency area that I am deployed to work in, even MEC Ngomorali Huko came in to ensure that we target those young women that were facing the scourge of GBV, and in terms of the exposing them to the skills that they need, because some of them don't even have a skill. That's why they will cling onto a boyfriend or a partner who is beating them every day, insulting them every day. Let me assure you that since that training that took place right in the middle of the pandemic, I think it was on alert level 4 at the time when we coordinated some of those that were facing that challenge. I think their lives is better, and I will be meeting with them because we also need to ensure that as they receive the skills and intervention from the Gauteng departments, we should be able to keep track and check whether those skills are assisting them to be able to do better in their lives. And I was happy because on the very same day when Honorable Rali Huko came into our constituency, many of them had to even register their businesses, whether they are small, it's fine, but they will build on what they've already acquired. So I'm meeting them on Monday so that I'm able to come back and give more feedback. But I'm so happy, I'm so glad to get a full picture, because you will know that as the chair of, or as the president of the CWP, I don't even have a portfolio committee that I'm sitting in. And it gives me more, highlighting more on what is being done. Because if sitting from where I am and I don't receive these reports, I might as good say the MECs are not working. I'm so happy because these are women MEC leading us in the GPG. Thank you very much. Those are my comments, Chair. But on other issues that they raised that I still need to get more clarity, I will follow up offline with them as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Linting. I think there's a request from the technical team that we switch on our cameras as and when we speak. Are there any questions, comments from participants? Nothing. Can we move to the next presenters? Why are you not participating, Bogotos? Can we move to the next participant? The next presenters from the Vita Awards, Helen and I think Helen Tembu from the Supreme Girls and 2016 Vita Basadi Honorary and Founder. Is Helen ready? Your presentation is only for 5 minutes, May. Yes, please. We want to see you. Please put on. Helen? Dineo, abantu bakho ngathi abakho ready kwenzakalani sisi? Okay. We can see you. Just switch on your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, your 5 minutes starts now.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity and happy Women's Month. Happy International Women's Day to all the women out there. My name is Helen Mtembu and I'm the founder of Supreme Girls. Just to keep it very brief, Supreme Girls is a social enterprise and we focus on leadership programs, events and activities to support girls. So most of our girls are between the ages of 11 and 25 years old. Okay, so that's what we do in essence. We've been operating from 2016 and it has been a very interesting ride. In 2018, we collaborated with the Gauteng Provincial Legislature and we hosted a girls' conference here in Soweto, and that hosted about 2,000 girls. And from that collaboration, it has been an amazing journey going forward. And then late 2018, I won the award for Community Heroine of the Year. And that being said, it has been a challenging period going forward, but with many blessings coming up. So 2019, we hosted a masterclass for girls across Africa. We always focus on leadership and with the essence of young girls actually starting their own community projects. So from my leadership, every single girl then goes back into her community and sets up a community program, and she then reaches more girls. And so that's been the essence of how I've been directing Supreme Girls. In 2019, we also focused on setting up a chapter in Soshanguve, and that chapter was focused on GBV, the education around it, supporting younger girls. And the leaders in that chapter are between the ages of 11 and 16. So there we have very small girls going out into their schools and their communities and supporting and educating other girls. And so that's been the heart of what happens in Soshanguve. Okay, then we had a few masterclasses along the way. 2020 came, COVID hit us, and then I moved everything online. And in doing so, we had a masterclass, an All-African Leadership Masterclass, and we invited many leaders from across the Sub-Saharan Africa. And then we also ran a few virtual programs, always around leadership. And came 2021, which has been a blessing, COVID lightening up. And we are now setting up a butterfly farm in Soweto. So we've been blessed with a piece of land, which has been very difficult to come by. And on that piece of land, we are setting up a butterfly farm, which in essence is a sanctuary which will focus on environmental education and research, but it translates to the life of a supreme leader, taking a girl from being a caterpillar, giving her the assistance and transforming her into a butterfly to then go out and impact the world. And so that's the story and the narrative that we're driving as Supreme Girls. Our butterfly farm should be up and ready in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And we are very hard at work, planting 1 million flowers and setting up our structure, our tea garden, but also the places to host events around leadership, around GBV. It's to bring local and national organizations that are working in the space to come and use our facility to talk about GBV, to reach more girls and to educate more girls. And so that's the heart of the Butterfly Farm. It's giving us a base as Supreme Girls, but it's also expanding the reach that we have, because without being stable, it's been difficult for us to reach more girls. So that's going to play a massive role in how we're going to operate going forward. And most importantly, winning the award just gave us, I think, more than recognition, it gave us almost, sets us as the experts in teaching and raising leaders in the space of girls and young girl development. And we are now happy to say that all our leaders run successful projects. All our leaders have their feet on the ground in their communities. All our leaders are now impacting wherever they are going. And now I'm starting to see the fruits of the work that we started in 2016, leading to the conference that we did with the Gauteng Legislature. And with winning the award, just giving us that stability and that foundation, I think most importantly, to reach more girls and to do the work that we're able to do. And so thank you for this opportunity. I try to keep my presentation short. And so just keep looking out for us. Our website is supremegirls.co.za, and the butterfly farm will be up and running, as I said, in a few weeks. And we'll then be reaching a lot more girls and going a lot deeper on the work that we are currently doing. Thank you.
Wow, profound words. Thank you very much, Helen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Desia Kidiboni from Sisana Community Organization. She is the community builder of 2020.
Good afternoon, everyone. Madam Chair, I want to start by thanking Basadi Vita Awards for the opportunity to also be part of this prestigious event of today. Happy International Women's Day to everyone. Bogodo. I am also going to summarize the presentation that I prepared. Basically, I'm a girl from Hammanskraal in a village called Ramotsi, where I grew up, where there was no resources. And as a young girl, I realized that I have potential to make a difference in my community. I started NGOs at a very young age, and I worked with the people with disabilities and the elderly, and volunteered in the library and other sectors. And it's funny, the community, I then went into a profession of education and development, where I got my qualification as an education and development specialist. So I specialize in curriculum design, I do training, facilitation, mentoring, and so in 2018, I wrote and I immediately realized that from an informal platform, I've been working with different women and empowering them to do different things. Some of them is people who are empowered by what I do, but without formally announcing that they are working with me or they are following what I'm doing. And I formally registered Dr. Desia Sana Foundation, which is focusing more on empowering women as one of our major flagship programs. Besides that, I just want to start with the other programs we're doing. We also run holiday camps in winter and in summer, where we house young children from the age of 13 to 21, where we capacitate them with life skills in adventure-based format, because kids learn better in an environment where they are playful and they're having fun. And some of the other things we're teaching them is values, because as Africans, we have also realized our kids are lost. There's a lot of things that are happening and we don't have the right foundation. So I work with mothers, I work with girls who are standing up and saying we can build the youth that is coming after us, so that they don't face the same challenges that we did. Hence, we focus on values. Each 5 days that we work on values with them. We work on teenage youth challenges, and we help them to sort that out. We also started embarking on a program last year where we are assisting all the women who want to start NPOs to register their NPOs and capacitate them in terms of leadership skills, in terms of how to work with administration. We work with different companies that are helping us with financial accounting systems for the NPOs so they can comply with government social development, who comes with the compliance for the participants to know what government needs from them. The program that I run that focuses more on women than anything else is called Women on the Move. Women on the Move is a movement that is focusing on assisting women to come out of their own shells, to be themselves, and to participate within the community. We have quite a lot of organizations that are led by women. However, they are not being supported enough. They are not being helped with the compliance issues. They don't know where to go. And that is because everything is online and everything is not really within reach, especially in the villages like where I come from in Ramote. So those are the challenges they face. Part of that, when we started the program, I give awards to women annually. So I give 12 awards to women in different sectors. Last year, when I got the nomination as the Community Builder of the Year for Vita Basadi Awards, I was busy awarding 12 women with their awards also for the work that they're doing in the community. And part and parcel to that, we also run prayer groups, because especially during the lockdown and during this pandemic of COVID, women have been going through a lot of GBV cases. We've been having women who have breakdowns because of they can't cope in the situation. So we started prayer groups where in each and every area we pray together, we encourage each other, we give each other information about what's happening. And those structures, they include women from outside South Africa. We've got Zimbabweans, we've got Namibians, Zambians from different countries, which makes it an awesome program because it's open for anyone to join and work with us on that. And it has really given a lot of fruits for women that are participating in the program. In conclusion, in conclusion, part of the projects that we're doing, we're also collecting clothes, we're collecting food, we're giving to the community. And during lockdown, we managed to feed up to 500 families with food parcels, just from the contribution of different women from different structures. And I believe that a woman was made with all the qualities of being a caregiver, and she has an instinct for people's development. Hence, we are pushing the movement of empowerment. And as women, we can even make a bigger impact if we work together to make a difference. I thank you, Chairperson.
Amandla.
I'll wait.
Thank you very much, Desia, Dr. Desia. Women of Honor 2020, Me Tobile Nyao.
Hi everyone. My name is
Let's
Tobile
see your
Nyao.
face, Me. Can we see your face?
Yeah, I can see myself. Can you see me?
No, we can't.
Why?
No, we're not. Is your camera on?
Yes.
Okay.
But I can.
Let me hope others see you. Then continue, Me. 5 minutes starts now.
Okay. My name is Tobile Nyao, the founder and CEO of Nyao Construction. So, through Nyao Construction, we were able to found an organization called Tobile Nyao Foundation, which was incorporated in 2019. So, Tobile Nyao Foundation, is a baby of Nyao Construction. So, in Nyao Construction, we offer civil construction, building construction, and infrastructure maintenance. So, to Tobile Nyao Foundation, we started an organization with 3 different programs that were running. So, the first one that we started with, it was a mentorship and the coaching. So, when we talk about mentorship and the coaching, that's where we deal with startup companies when they say women in business, because I, as a director, I believe in women empowerment, women in leadership, women in business, as youth in business. So we started that program of mentorship and coaching, whereby we say there are different type of entrepreneurs. There are startup companies. There are people who say, you know what, I want to start a company, but I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. So those are the people that we deal with. There's a different person that will come and say, oh, I have registered company, but now I have this business idea. I don't know what to do. Right now, I need funds. So we have partnered with different government organizations, which is NYDA, CEDA, as well, and the other in private sector that we're working with, to make sure that also in CIFA, to make sure that we try and help them to get funding into their businesses. So we have another one which is, it deals with education. So last year we started to venture into education because there's a person who said, I want to start a business, but I don't have a skill. Business is not about you being have a matric or have a degree, but I believe it's always in the mind, and the key to success is always the wisdom, not the paper that you have in the hand. But sometimes the paper in the hand help us in our businesses, our financial, how to manage our financial. So we started to say, you know what we can do is that to offer bursaries to women who have businesses, women who want to start businesses, women who are working, who want to venture into businesses. So we partnered with Online Academy. So we said last year we offered over 200 bursaries abroad, like all in Africa, not only South Africa, in Africa. So we said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to offer 200 bursaries. We have over 500 courses that you choose, and you can do whatever you want, but as long as it's going to benefit you at the end of the day. So we have the last program, which is it's for graduate. So the one for graduate, we've seen as Nyao Construction, I don't know how many CVs we receive a day. You'll find a person say you graduated 2015, but that person doesn't have even an experience. So we said, let's help them to get the jobs. Let's help them. Let partners with few companies in construction and other sectors. When we propose to them, let's say we propose to them that every time when you have a space, you contact us. We provide you with a person. We're working with a vet at the moment. We partnered with a vet. We said, okay, can you give us the list of the graduate that you have for the past few years? So we contacted them, they send us CVs, and then what we do, we try to help them to get that job. So that's what we're doing at Toblinia Foundation, and I'm hoping that we can do more. And as the fourth industrial revolution is here, I think it's time to adapt and do something hype, like the way the industry is there, the way economy is. As we work together, and we believe that together we can go forward, and together as women, we can do better things. So before I close, thank you so much for the award. Winning the award, it was a motivation to me as an individual, a woman of honor. To be honest, last year was just a horrible year in business and personal life. But to receive that award, it was inspiration to me and to many that, 2021, we still have a hope. We can do something better. I thought my business is dying. I thought my plans are dying. But to receive that, I really thank you. I really appreciate you that today I'm waking up every morning and go to work because I've got that motivation. It really means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, May, and well done to the good work that you are doing. Can we have our next presenter, Moresi Teledis, who won the Special Speakers Award?
Can you see me, Dumelang?
Dumela Moresi, we can see you.
You can see me. Thank you.
I needed that energy. Thank you very much.
Yes. Phambili ngemva kodwa phambili. Allow me to Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Moresi Teledi. I am an ex-offender. Ibantiti isboshwa. I am currently an inspirational speaker. I am the CEO and founder of Ugozi Solutions. Ugozi means inspiration. Its primary focus is to deal with corruption, bribery, fraud, and work ethics in a workplace. I don't know if, should I give a brief of how I got to prison or not, but because due to time, you can Google me, Moresi Teledi, and get the full, story. I served a 10-year sentence, and I also gave birth in prison. I became an inspiration to other offenders. Ukuthi sipantita nge pencil skirt and nama heels, and we study. And I graduated in prison. The reason why I did business management in prison is because of the criminal record. It is a problem in, a lot of us as ex-offenders. Funny enough, when e-democracy stepped in, it was transformed from e-prison to a correctional service where a human behavior, it is corrected. And it is corrected. Can you guys hear me? I'm hearing sound.
We can hear you and we can see your lovely face.
Okay, thank you.
And
so
your
now,
bubbly self.
So now, during my incarceration, I asked myself, I think a year before my release, Uguti Moresi, how are you going to survive when you get outside? Because you have a criminal record. Then I registered my own company.
Hi.
And now the company is not doing well.
Excellent. How are you?
There's a sound that
Dr. Julia, please switch off your mic. Telemarketers are calling you. Continue, sis. I think it was a mistake on her side.
Okay, cool. Then I registered my own company, thinking, okay, when I get out here, I'm going to be able to, sustain myself. And now I'm hitting, the walls, and because of the criminal record. So I would love our MECB to get to look into that. However, I am on TV. I decided, Uguti, I am going to, share my story with the world. I want young girls to see, Uguti, prison is a reality. Not only hardcore criminals end up in prison, not only, abantu abavuka bathi thina namhlanje siyohereza. Even educated people end up in prison. We've got our prosecutors in prison. We've got your doctors, and the list is endless. Uguti, prison is a reality, and there are women who give birth in prison. The other thing is when all our MECs were speaking and bakhuluma budget and everything, and I'm like, how? You're leaving us out, women who have served time and women who are currently serving time, because a lot of women who are serving time currently, they are victims where gender-based violence. No, I just pushed, my husband, and the husband died, and that woman is serving a life sentence. We've got a granny section. I would love us to go and see our gogo, and I would love, a program as a builder women currently ababuya ejele and ba vulnerable. See, vulnerable in Jetina. We are not employable. The previous speaker spoke about opportunities, the employment. Please look into ex-offenders, people are reputable, obviously, people who have studied in prison, people who have shown the prison system rehabilitated. Lastly, I would love to say, Uguti, the platform on its own. I'm honored, I'm humble, highly appreciated. The Speaker Special Award was Tulam Sindo. Shuguti, it was a confirmation, Uguti, I should not stop what I am doing. I should continue doing it. And I should continue motivating other women. And I thought Uguti presentation will be, behind me. There's an Adia TV license. I guess everyone have seen it and enjoy my work. Soon you'll be seeing a lot of my work on screen and enjoy it. Thank you, Speaker, for the award. Amandla!
Away too. Thank you very much.
Away.
Someone just sent me an SMS now to say I should allow you to tell us your story. And we are behind schedule. I suggest that they go to your Facebook page. Can
yes,
we now move?
Can.
Yes, they will go. I just told them that I'm there now.
Okay.
Can we now move to the next presenter? Lebogang Monyati, the Outstanding Creative of 2019. Is Lebo here? Lebo Hang? Can we have the runner-up for community hearing of 2020? Nantantla Mazaleni. I hope I'm pronouncing it well.
Amandla.
Away two.
Hello everyone, my name is Nonhlanhla Mazaleni. I'm a founder and a director of Tholulwazi Phakathi. Tholulwazi Phakathi, it's an NPO that helps adolescents and young adults who were born with HIV. I'm an HIV adherence counselor by profession. It started all when I was doing counseling. The mothers will come into my counseling room and seek assistance in terms of how to live positively with HIV. I could relate to their stories since I'm also raising an HIV positive young woman now. She's now 22 years old. And then I started an NPO that is called Tholulwazi Phakathi. So Tholulwazi Phakathi, it's an NPO that helps adolescents and young adults who were born or who are living with HIV. There are a lot of challenges that they are facing, and I also write books so that I can help them to live positively with HIV. Living with HIV, it's hard. It is worse when you are a child because they are born with the biggest STI in the world, and people are stigmatizing them, and they are facing a lot of challenges. They have low self-esteem. So every school holidays, I take about 100 HIV positive adolescents to a campsite where I teach them how to live positively. I have 55 volunteers who are also living with HIV. So they help the adolescent by telling them their story. And we have a program that we call CATS. CATS, it's Community Adolescent Treatment Support. And we are facing a lot of challenges since we are not funded. We have support from social development. They are now giving us food because most of the adolescents, when they turn 18, they don't qualify for any grant. So it becomes a challenge for them to get food. Some of them, they take ARVs on an empty stomach. And then we also trace defaulters, those who no longer want to take treatment, and then we educate them how to live positively with HIV. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nonhlanhla, for a very courageous work that you are doing in also contributing towards building a South Africa that we love. And please continue doing the great job that you have been doing. I'm not sure if the speaker that I jumped is here now, Dineo.
No, ma'am, unfortunately she is not. We may proceed to the next speakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Celius, are you ready?
Chair.
Yes, Dr. Mokgweetsi.
I wanted to comment on the previous speaker's presentation. I don't know if you can allow me before Honorable Celius comes in.
Okay, let me allow you, and it means I'm going to allow others. So I'll allow only 5 of you who wants to speak.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Mokgweetsi. Please continue.
Thank you very much. Let me welcome all the presentations from all the speakers. And maybe to say to Nonhlanhla, I would really want to partner with your organization, because we have a problem when of tracing the patients who are on ART, and for us to reach our 90-90-90 a program, we are really struggling, so that we can see how can we partner and make sure that we are achieving as a province when it comes to that. I would like Dineo to give you my contact details so that we can start communicating from tomorrow. And with regards to Muresi, you know, when I was in social development, there's a program that we launched of women who have suffered gender-based violence, children who has escaped human trafficking and all that. It is a program that we were using agriculture to be able to assist them to heal. It is not only those few that I've mentioned, but it really assisted a lot of women. And I was in engagement several times with Minister Lamola to say, Minister Lamola, can you bring in your ex-convicts so that we can be able to form a co-op for them so that they can be able to survive from that program. It's a beautiful program at Marvale. And I'm still saying, if we can do it outside Minister, because I ended up being moved from social development, but I'm carrying that program with me. I really can't leave that program to die. So if we can do it, me and you, outside Minister Lamola, it can be, I think we can be able to support a number of women. As I'm speaking to you now, 100 women are able to feed their families from that program, even though they are at the harvesting stage now. I have engaged the MEC of GDAT so that they can be able to partner with me. I am going to take that program along. I am, as a Department of Health, and whoever who will be coming after me, I'm going to make sure that we buy vegetables from that program. It is a very nice program, sustainable. If we can get people, if you can organize yourself, I think we can be able to assist a number of women. Moresi as well, I think, and Dineo can give you my numbers so that we can see how we take that program forward. I think Madam Speaker can attest to that. It is in her area there in Niger. Thank you very much, Chair. That would be all.
Thank you very much, Memoketi, for extending the invites and calling for partnerships with our different NGOs. Are there any comments, suggestions for partnerships and collaborations? Participants? Word of motivation? Are you still there? Maybe I should request that you switch on all your cameras.
We are here, kiddos.
I'm worried when you are quiet and looking at the profile of who's here. These are people who never keep quiet.
We are here, Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mokhaiti. Skati must not be our hindrance. Thank you very much, Dr. Rihamela. Thank you. Can we move to the next item, May Inasilias? On behalf of the Democratic Alliance.
Apologies, ma'am. They will not be presenting. However, they are available in the meeting. We may proceed to Honorable Delano of EFF Plus.
FF Plus, not EFF. Remember Delange?
Apologies.
You're an economic freedom fighter. Just receive.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm member of the Provincial Legislature of Gauteng. Madam Chair, thank you very much. Greetings to all and all protocol observed. I think before I start, may I just give a special thanks to our ladies who does the interpretation today. We need to say thank you to them for bringing these proceedings to the rest of the world who does not have the ability to hear what we say today. Madam Chair, my topic is the challenging experiences of mental health and women in the workplace. On 2021 International Women's Day, we celebrate everything that is women. One can only ask, is being a woman an actual celebration? What do we have to celebrate? Have womanism and feminism in the world reached its goal? Are all genders treated equally? Or is it just lip service? Do so-called inclusion and equality, specifically in the workplace, contribute to women's well-being, particularly women's mental health? I'm sure my fellow female colleagues that you will agree with me when I say that women's mental health in the workplace is a topic that is very serious, often overlooked, and impact not only on a woman's productivity at work, but her overall being, affecting that of a family as well. Women are amongst the marginalized and vulnerable groups, and therefore very susceptible to mental illness. Many mental health conditions, such as depression and bipolar disorder, affect more women than men, or affect in different ways from men. Women are twice as likely as men to experience serious depression. There are many types of mental illnesses, including mental disorder, mood disorder, anxiety disorders, personality disorders, psychotic disorder, eating disorders, trauma-related disorders, and substance abuse disorders. If we focus on mental health in the workplace and due to the cost of involved, it's important to note that mental disorders result in massive amounts of loss to productivity each year, while many employers are developing policies to support their health workforce. There is no shared vision for mental health in the workplace. In South Africa, the challenge extends to the mental impact of socio-economic legacy issues, such as gender, race, and social inequalities. Statistics from the World Federation for Mental Health shows that an average of 36 workdays are lost each episode, and more than 10% of working people have taken time off due to depression. As far as South Africa is concerned, we really don't have useful statistics on the cost of managing our mental health for more effectively. Government spends only 5% of the health budget on mental health, but mental health costs the economy up to 6 times the cost of its treatment. The cost of lost productivity from depression is more than 1.5 times the total budget of social protection in South Africa. Loss of earnings from the depression is estimated at about 55,000 Rand an adult per year, a total of 40 billion Rand, or 2.2% of the country's gross domestic product. It is obvious from these statistics that mental health is costly, not only to the mental health sufferer and the employer, but also to South Africa as a whole. There's a direct link between gender inequality and mental illness in the workplace. The World Health Organization recognizes that health outcomes are unequal for people, both across and within countries, with inequality especially disadvantaging women across their lifespan. The overt social and economic inequalities more commonly experienced by women, such as lower rates of schooling and employment, less pay for similar jobs, underrepresentation in leadership positions, and the higher level of psychological stresses and problems from caregivers burdened to intimate partners, violent, and contribute to these disparities. Evidence from research in the workplace demonstrates that day-to-day, more subtle words and actions can also negatively impact on women's sense of well-being and success in a way that is firstly often unrecognized outside the experience of a woman's self, and secondly, commonly left to the woman and decide how to and whether to address it. Let me give you an example that recently happened. During a debate, a male member repeatedly referred to a female office bearer as a domkop. This insult was thrown and used aggressively and derogatively over and over. The abuse to happen. How can we fight for women and care for women's health if we allow gender abuse, no matter where, protected or not? We are, as leaders in government, celebrate International and also National Women's Day. Yet we condone this kind of misogynic, violent behavior. Perhaps the most daunting obstacle to treatment of mental health disorders is the social stigma attached to these diseases. Women may be less likely than men to seek treatment after experiencing symptoms of mental illnesses. This is due to initialized of self-stigma that result from their self-image being formed by how others perceive them. Women tend to rely on the opinions of the outside world for their self-esteem much more than men do. Let me give you another example of one of my female colleagues working as most of us in a male-dominated environment. She suffered from PTSD and severe depression due to personal circumstances and a stressful work environment. Her work deteriorated to such an extent that she underperformed. She was too ashamed to share the diagnosis with a manager. She was afraid that her managers and colleagues will perceive her as crazy or incapable. Can we really blame her? Women in the workplace are often labeled as hysterical, angry, over-emotional, when in fact they feel strong about an issue or passionate. Due to the negative connotation of mental health illnesses and issues, she decided to rather suffer in silence. Foremost, we, men and women, must lead by example, by not tolerating gender abuse and harassment, by not tolerating insult thrown at female members, by calling out the perpetrators of workplace harassment publicly and in this environment. We should improve women's health in the workplace by destigmatizing mental illness, by having open discussions as these to show the world that mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of, to show our female colleagues that we care about them and that we listen to them with understanding and empathy. Only then, when we address the challenges experiences from women and mental health in the workplace, we can fully celebrate International Women's Day. The Commonwealth platform must be the champions of women in the true sense of the word. I thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dilange. I think we are at the end of our session. I don't know if there are members who wants to make few comments. I'll allow 3 hands.
If I may, Honorable Diale, we have Honorable Beverly Badenost from the EFF who's due to present.
Thank you very much, Dineo. I don't know, maybe with the organizers. I thought this is a women's caucus thing, and in the women's caucus, we are women of Gauteng, and you can classify us according to our political parties. But I'm going to allow Honorable Badenost and then the chair of chairs in Gauteng, Honorable Nkosi Malobane, after Honorable Badenhorst. BB, the Bev.
Yeah, good day to all the women of South Africa and international representatives. All protocol observed. Madam Chair, allow me to present women with disabilities. Madam Chair, before I start presenting let me tell South Africa and the women, the international women, about the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is a cornerstone of democracy in South Africa. The Bill of Rights applies to all law and binds the legislature, the executive, the judiciary, and all organs of state. But the point that I want to emphasize on is equality. The state may not unfairly discriminate directly or indirectly against race, gender, sex, or disability, religion, conscience, belief, culture, and language, and birth. We speak about misogyny at all times and patriarchy, but we don't live by all these things, especially when we dare to exclude women with disabilities. What's happening to this thing now?
Speak from the heart, leave it.
Yes,
you
yes, ma'am,
say,
yes, ma'am. Just give me a moment, not even a minute, a moment. I just want to switch this thing properly on because we're struggling with network here. They're busy fixing our network here in Easterus. I'm now with you. I'm with you now. Please bear with me. Sorry about that. Yeah. Thank you. Women are being discriminated on at all times, especially when we get to women and girls. They are generally amongst the most vulnerable and marginalized persons in society. And still, we that are able and well still go on discriminating against these people. Convinced that addressing the profound social, cultural, and economic disadvantage and exclusion experienced by many persons with disabilities, promoting the use of the universal design as appropriate, as well as the progressive removal of barriers to the full and effective participation of persons with disabilities of civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights will further the equalization of opportunities and contribute to the realization of a society for all in the 21st century. Noting that, Chair, while progress has already been made by governments, the international community and the United Nations system is mainstreaming disability as an integral part of the global development agenda. But they still have major challenges remaining. We as the Women Multi-Party Caucus call on the government of the day to ensure that all developmental policies and programs, including those regarding poverty eradication, social protection, full and productive employment to every disabled woman or girl child, and a decent work of appropriate measures for financial inclusion and accessible community and housing development.
As we conclude, Honourable Member.
Okay, take into account the needs, rights and potential of and benefits of all women with disabilities on an equal basis with others. Emphasize the needs for measures to ensure that persons with disabilities, in particular women, are not subject to multiple or aggravated forms of discrimination or excluded from participation of an equal basis with others in implementation of the international development goals. Let me quote the last two, then I can finish. Underline the importance of closely consulting with actively involving persons with disabilities and their representative organizations in the elaboration of the emerging post-2015 United Nations Development Agenda. Call upon all governments to continue to cooperate and engage in direct dialogue with the Special Rapporteur and to provide him or her with all the relevant information to fulfill this or her mandate effectively. Thank you, Chair. Even if you took my time, it's fine. Thank you.
Apologies, Honourable Badenhorst. We are pressed for time. Remember, we've invited NGOs and there's limitations on data. I think from myself, what made the highlights of these days is the two quotations made by honourable members that we're presenting today that we should choose to challenge, and the quotation of Mama Charlotte Maqeke by MEC Mazibuko, that we need to deal with it in order to conquer and take it head on. And thank you very much for the opportunity to the CDWP Chair. And thank you, honourable members, for being good audience. I'm now going to hand over to, oh, I forgot Honourable Malobane. My apologies. This is career meeting. Honourable Malobane, I forgot you, that I noted you as part of the speaking list. Yeah, I'm pressured for time. Sorry, my apologies.
Maybe I should leave you, since you are pressured by time. I don't think anyone will die if I don't make a comment, but I really wanted to make comments. So maybe I should just leave it and I'll get an opportunity one day and make the comments.
From the school of thought of where I come from is you don't just say it, at least I know you'll make it in 4 minutes.
Okay, fine. No, thank you very much, Chair. Not that I'm being sure because trying to accommodate your challenge, Chair. Chairperson, I think one of the things that I wanted to raise, yes, I agree with Honorable MEC Mazibuko that really we need to choose to challenge, even where we're unable to do so because of our political, I heard you talking about career limiting, that even where you think we are challenging power, it is important that you must actually choose to challenge, particularly on behalf of the women that can't talk for themselves. The issue that I wanted to raise was the issue that maybe after this, through our committees, through the Women's Caucus, we really need to have road shows on Customary Marriage Act, which has been just been, I think if I'm not mistaken, it has been adopted, but if not, we are in the process of coming up, of amending that particular act. And I think it is very, very important for women to actually participate in the amendment or on the new Customary Marriage Act. Chair. The other issue is the issue of addressing the widows, the challenges that widows in our country experience after their husbands have actually passed on. In particular, those that are married in communities or tribes that are very, will always use customs oppress our women. I mean, without sounding tribalist, for example, people who are married in Xhosa community, in Zulu community where I come from, as well as people who got married in the north. I'm telling you, women who are married in those areas experience serious challenges, and we interact with such women almost on a daily basis here in our PCO. So we really need to engage in addressing the challenges that women who are widows are experiencing on a daily basis. But Chair, I want to also raise the issue of the protection of disabled girls. They are being always taken advantage of. Majority of them, their pregnancies, majority, not all, are actually out of rape because people think that they can't talk for themselves and they can do as they wish. And I think we need to start a campaign through our legislatures as well as guys at national level to come up with a law that says anyone who rapes a disabled child or a disabled person, there should be a mandatory sentence, whether it's life or 15 years or 30 years, but it must actually happen because those are the people who also suffer. And people are not Kibasadi, by the way. Let me also thank the chair, the speaker for the Vita Award. You know, naturally they can't be vundulat, but she vundulat those women, and they've been appreciated and actually exposed to other women of the good work that they're doing. And if you listened to those ordinary women who spoke today, it shows that we are actually winning in terms of addressing challenges and also good work that ordinary women are doing in our country. But also thank the president. I think it's important. For the first time, we've got a president.
We can no longer hear you, Honorable Maloban. Am I the only one who can hear Honorable Maloban?
The last time we heard when she said thanking the president.
Okay, can we move on? And thank you very much, honorable members. Member Magagula, over to you now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Program Director. Do you want to see my face? So affect connectivity.
Sibulise
Yeah.
bese uyayicisha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Our Gauteng Branch President, Honorable Linton Mekwe, and all protocol observed. Year 2021 marked the 150 years of the remarkable life of Ume Charlotte Maxeke. Ume Charlotte Maxeke was one of the hardworking women who led from the front, fighting for the emancipation of women. When we look back where our women forebearers who paved the way for all women in South Africa to be visible and stand up to continue with the fight against gender inequality, I think wherever they are smiling today to see and hear the report back from all of you around the clock and around Africa that women have achieved so much from where they left. May their souls rest in peace. As the Gauteng Provincial Legislature's Multi-Party Women's Caucus Chairperson and the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians Gauteng Branch Chairperson, I would like to thank each one of you from wherever you come from. As conveners of this event, which commemorates women across the globe and from all walks of life, I would like to extend our appreciation for making time to participate in this event. A special appreciation is extended to Honorable Beatrice Elaki from Kenya, members of the Executive Council, there's MECs, our speakers of Provincial Legislature, the deputy speakers of provincial legislatures from other provinces, members of National Assembly in the absentia of the National Council of Provinces, members of Multi-Party Women's Caucus of Gauteng, and members of Commonwealth Women's Parliamentarians present in this event. We also like to thank the Vaitarasadi Awards recipients. I was so touched by your appreciation of what the Vaitarasadi has done to you and in uplifting your lives. We think with that you are going to continue to do more hard work and good job in your NGOs. Also like to thank the Gauteng Legislature staff, government departments, including gender focal points persons, the general public who were able to join us on social media platforms, respectively so. Being able to come together and share experiences as women is very important. We need to maintain this and continue working towards building each other in all corners of our African regions, in all areas of our country, in South Africa and our provinces. May we continue to challenge the status quo as we strive towards the realization of gender inequality. Slowly but surely, we will reach our destination. I thank you and thank you all, and thank you, Program Director, for giving me this time to thank everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day and all the best in your endeavors. Thank you. Bye.
Bye,
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Chair.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Chair. Thank you for the session.